Hello, hello, hello everyone. Welcome to another live stream with me, 320 Sim Pilot. I hope you're all doing very well. Welcome. It's been a little while. I'm so glad to be back in the air with you all. We're going to be taking the fantastic INI Simulations A300-600R for a flight in this really retro Alitalia livery. I love this livery, even got the chrome engines, for a flight over to Athens. For those of you who are newer to the channel, this is where we started. We did a lot of flights around this part of Europe, and we were hopping all over the place every few days. It was great fun. So yeah, we're going to relive that a little bit today. Bit of a trunk route, so I figured it's probably quite a busy route, so we could squeeze a long haul or a wide body aircraft onto it for a sensible reason. But there we go. We're here in Rome. This is actually a freeware Rome. I got off of flightsim.to, and I've got to say, really quite happy with it. Just the default one is terrible. A lot of the default airports are. I'm looking forward to this new system. But as you can see, we actually have the correct terminals. They've even modelled the new terminal there, and the glass sort of domes. Yeah, it's not totally payload quality, but it's a significant improvement. So very happy with that. But yeah, here we go. Beautiful A300. It's been a little while. Sorry we're not in the 787, but yeah, I really fancied getting this jet in the air. It's been a while, and it's a beautiful machine, so we've got to enjoy it. Thank you all for coming along. Dougal, hello to you. Thanks for coming and moderating. MSGN23 is over on Twitch and says, yay, another plane I flew as a kid. Excellent. Great to hear. You can compare it, see how you feel it stands up to the real thing. The Gaming Boss, hello from Romania. Hello to you. I hope all is doing well in Romania. Nick K, evening to you. Mark Burgess. Mark says, just stop by to say hello and have a good flight. Want to watch, but got to go collect my son. Well, the stream will be there later on if you fancy watching it, but thank you so much for stopping by, Mark, and hope you have a good evening. Lazarus, good evening to you. Jay Christian, Four Prawns, great to see you, Four Prawns. Thanks for coming along. C. Gonzalez, hello to you. And James, who I believe is flying along, and Organ Aviator. Organ Aviator says, sorry, I cannot join. I'm in the middle of revising for my GCSE exams that start a week tomorrow. Good luck with those exams. And yeah, absolutely. I think you're making the right choice there. Lorenzo, hello to you. Vector Victor says, got to love the boopy snoot. And Jickpoint says, hello. Sorry, evening, everyone. And good evening to you, Peter Jones. Good. I hope the audio is all okay. I'm just checking. Yeah, sounds like it's working. And we are also live on Twitch for the first time in a long time. Twitch has been relatively popular format for the streams, but then they changed the terms and conditions to not allow dual streaming. But I believe it is now allowed as long as certain restrictions are met. So here we are. We get to do both again. So I hope that works out for you. Tangle Day is chatting on Twitch and says, hello, sorry for bothering you. Oh no, that's a bit of spam. There we go. So yeah, excellent. Right, it's time to have a look at the interior of this aeroplane. I haven't seen it in a while though. I love the exterior. We flew the A310 a lot, and we did fly the A300 and the Beluga obviously on the channel. I can't wait to get the Beluga XL in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, which will effectively be an A330 flight deck. So it won't be quite as retro. I would love to get the original Beluga transported across. I really hope we get to see that. I think it's a bit of a shame that's been missing from our hangar for as long as it has. But there we go. Indeed, Dougal, thanks for joining us on Twitch. Yeah, we are back on Twitch. I think it's... I don't see why not. I think it's people enjoy it. So there we go. It's relatively easy. I've just got to pay for the Streamlabs subscription. So there we are. For the dual streaming rights. I love the detail. I love the little black nose they had on these old Alitalia liveries. But this is just such a great model. I still think the A300 that they include, sorry, the A310 that they include is great, but this one is, every time I get it back in the sim, I'm reminded how nice it is. Heavy on performance, there's no denying that. As you can see, my poor simulator struggle. Relatively nice weather, although I can see some showers. This is where Microsoft Flight Simulator continues to just impress me so much. These showers are, that's just great, isn't it? We've all seen showers of rain, and that's just super. Yeah. So potentially a bit of that going on around us, so we'll keep an eye out. Here we are on the flight deck. It's raining on the windscreen. Look at that. Excellent. And we have all our ground controls. So we got in the process of boarding. I'm just going to check. I think we're done actually. Yeah, we've got our passengers. We are loaded. We've got a 0 fuel weight, gross weight. Excellent. 109, 0 fuel weight. I wanted 106.5, so that's gone up slightly. Interestingly, this is just update from SimBrief. Apply. Finish. Good. We'll see if the fuel works out. I'm excited to try it out. I'm going to just leave the flight plan fuel. I think the weather is okay, but we can actually check that over here. So this will be your briefing that you do before you even get to the airplane. Rome, Athens. METAR in Rome, it's 260 at 12, so westerly at 12, so we'll be departing from runway 25. They always use runway 25. And it's pretty cloudy at 16 degrees. We can see it's going to be wet, so we will actually make the performance for a wet runway. In Athens, it's a nice day, 2108 variable, and yeah, QNH 1011, 21 degrees. Lovely. Much nicer than it is in the UK, that's for sure. There's our routing. If anyone wants to fly along, the route is on my Discord, and it's also on the top of the YouTube chat if you'd like to join us. Pushback says, I had my first flight on the A350-900 last week. What a lovely aircraft to be a passenger in. From takeoff to cruise altitude was more silent than the average train ride. Me and my friend actually sat and whispered to each other. Excellent. Glad to hear it. It's a very modern, lovely airplane. Pushback says, can't wait to get the INI A350 in the sim, my favourite aircraft by far. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that too. I think that'd be really nice to get another Airbus and an airplane we haven't seen much of, although we have flown the A350 on a long haul stream on this channel a while back. Anyway, let's see if we can get this airplane powered up. So we have some ground power available, I can see that, but we've got the gear down, engine mode selectors, they need to be off. There we go, that's better, that's why we check. We've got the parking brake not moving. I'm going to hope that that is set. Yes. That's off. So that's set. Weather radar is off. Landing gear is down. Wiper selectors off. Off. Batteries up here. Let's just let's be really diligent and check the voltage. And we go. Bat. Oof, look at that lag. Good. All good. So we go batteries. Auto, center power on. We'll just give the airplane a moment to think about life as it powers up. And let me see if I can just manage. Bear with me while I manage two streams. It's something I'm slightly out of practice with, but we should be able to manage. Right, let's have a look. Jack Garland says, hey Captain, watching while on holiday in Costa Rica. So far been on an A380, 737 and Grand Caravan and staying in a converted 727 hotel in the middle of the jungle. Can't miss a 320 streamer. Jack, that is fantastic. What a holiday. And that's a serious bit of aviation holiday there. That's great. Yeah, fantastic. Well, have a great time. And thank you so much for joining us. It's great to hear we've got viewers in Costa Rica. Fantastic. CM Film says, thank you for your great tutorials. You're very welcome. Thanks for coming along and saying so. Peter Jones says, wish I could stick around, but 2:37 a.m. in Australia, so I will have to catch up a little later on. Good night, everyone, and enjoy the flight. Thanks, Peter. Thanks for stopping by, and thank you so much for watching. We'll have see you later on. Have a good night's sleep. Thank you so much. And Dougal says, would love to fly along, but stream is over my dinner time as usual. Sorry, yes. I must try some different times. I must do it. But thank you for coming along, Dougal, anyway. And yeah, we hopefully you can enjoy the stream, even with some lovely dinner. I'm sure I'll be starving by the end. Right, let's get into our flows. So we have the computers in normal. Speed brake computers are all on. I love the Airbus. I do miss this. Just everything's in the on position. We don't need to touch anything. We do have hydraulic fluid. That's all good. And I'm going to put the seatbelts on because we are fueled up. And I'm going to put the no smoking to auto. Good stuff. We're going to have the nav and logo lights on. We'll leave the rest of the lights off for now. I can't do anything with these until we align things. We'll power the galley. We're on external power. All of this can stay as it is. And that does remind me. Let's put these into nav now. 2, 3. Still can't believe the 787 only has 2 and we fly over the ocean with it, but there we do. That's how it is. It's more than capable. Good. We've got some backlights on, which is nice. So we can leave the reading light off. The fuel panel, I'm just going to turn all the pumps on because it's all automatic and the airplane is fueled up. We've got our fuel there, 15.6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.4, 15.5, 15.6, 15.6, 15.7. Yeah, FM2. Perfect. Ignition is in the off position. APU, let's bring it on. So master switch on. Wait for the light. No, don't have to do that. Start. Didn't it used to give it a low fuel pressure? I get confused. All these different APU startings. So many different ways of doing it. Chase says, great to catch a live from the Pacific Northwest. Fantastic, Chase. Thanks for coming along. I hope all is well in the Northwest. What a fantastic part of the world to be in. Chick Point says, I don't see the problem. Streaming dinner is perfect. Excellent. Paul 9, thanks so much for your €5.99 super chat. Really, really appreciate it. Paul 9 has sent it with a pair. How's it going? It's going very well, Paul 9. Thank you for coming along and thank you for supporting the channel as always. Oh, there's our little Excel light. That's what I was waiting for. Great to see you though, Paul 9. I hope you're doing very well and thank you for joining us today on the stream. Fantastic. Thank you. Really, really appreciate it. Thanks for supporting us. So that is hopefully starting up. I won't do anything to the fuel pump. I'll leave it in auto. Over here, we're on system 1 for the pressurization, which is no problem at all. And they're in open for the valves. Let's put the window heat and pitot heat on. Oxygen. I've had this before. It won't turn on. I don't know if this is a glitch or a bug or something I'm doing wrong, but there we go. We'll have to go without that today. Moving over, we're aligning. This is all good. Auto. It's just a display for the temperatures. Auto. And let's put on the APU air so we can provide some pressure into the system, and then we'll get the air conditioning packs running. We'll also use that later for starting. Well, on the emergency exit lights, I think we're in a good place. I love that the lights are all on. So it is still aligning, so we're going to leave that alone for a little bit. And 320 Sim Pilot Superfan, thank you for coming along. I'm doing very well. I hope you're doing well as well. Really appreciate Pole 9. Thank you. Right, let's make sure I keep an eye on both. So Dr. Hambo says, was supposed to do my first solo this morning, but the ceilings were at 400 feet. Yes, that is the life of general aviation, sadly. It is a very common thing to happen. Yeah, that's a shame. But still, there'll be another day, and you'll enjoy it even more, rather than squeezing it with the right on the edge of the acceptable weather. Now we have an arrival and a departure ATIS. I'm super impressed with that. I haven't seen both of those for a long time. So we'll go for the departure ATIS, which is giving us information uniform, and that is 16 degrees, 260 at 10, QNH of 1012. It says runway code 666, which is dry, but actually soon it will be 555 if this rain keeps up. You will be surprised that the rain has stopped. How it can be raining and you can still have what's considered a dry runway. It used to be, when I started flying, you'd have damp, but they got rid of that category because you basically treated it as wet anyway. What happens is the runways are grooved, and it's surprisingly effective at removing moisture from them, so they take a little while to actually turn into wet runways. But if it's raining and we can see there's showers around, it'll be very wise to just have the aeroplane set up for a wet departure. Although it looks quite nice over there, but there are lots of showers. Super impressed with the weather engine on this sim. Grounders Online, thank you, Dougal. Channel says, hi, I wanted to ask if you checked out the CPDLC for the Horizon and if it's even good or not. Now, the Horizon 787 is fantastic. I haven't tried the CPDLC. There will be more chances, says Dr. Hambone. Got a cross-country flight tomorrow to make up for it. Maybe get the solo endorsement this weekend since the weather looks generally great. Fantastic. Great to hear. Evening to you, Lorenzo. Thanks for coming along. And Lauren V. Yes, we are back up on Twitch. I decided that we'd make sure we did get both going. So there are 111 of you on YouTube, and then another 17 of you over on Twitch. So or 18 of you now. So it will take a little while. We'll get Twitch back to life. But yeah, now we're allowed to do it again. I think it was it'd be silly not to. As I know a lot of you prefer it, and I enjoy it as well. Twitch is a nice platform to stream onto, quite straightforward, and that's what I need, as straightforward as I can have. Good. So what was I doing there? So we're now going to move down. I can't quite set this panel up yet because we haven't got our IRSs aligned, so I'm going to leave that alone. But let's just make sure everything else is in order. We can align our standby. There it goes. Not quite as smooth as the Phoenix animation, but not bad at all. We can set the QNH of 1012, which makes sense, just above sea level. No, not that. That's the minimums. 1012 and 1012. Now that's annoying. I should definitely have those synchronized because I will not link instruments, captain and FO. Thank you very much. Let's just link them all. Good. Now this is a very detailed sim. You can actually go in and fiddle with the maintenance. You can see here we have wear and all of this stuff. It's really, really good. But this is obviously a relatively well-spec'd plane. It's just come out of some heavy maintenance, we'll say. And yeah, we won't do that yet till we load up the McDo. So it wants us to align the IRSs. So let's do it. Now, can I ACARS, see what we can do. Request in brief. See if it works. There it is. Look at this. Oh, it's responsive, this one. And now we're going to go Cosnex 100. And the flight ID AZA Alitalia 348. Hopefully they'll appreciate having an Alitalia here. So that has gone already into the init page, hasn't it? The flight plan already has it. Yes, excellent. Excellent stuff. That's all good. And I wanted a data page, but we're not going to find that. Takeoff page. No. SID. It'll definitely be runway 25. Let me just check that. 8 is. Yeah, runway 25 on 16 right. I'd rather runway 25, frankly, but we are going south, so they could give us 16 right. Ah, we're going to have to ask for clearance, aren't we? No way around it. It would be silly not to. 121.9. Oof, that could get annoying. Let's just do it on this side. 2.9. Great. BPB 101 says, my first opportunity to watch 320 Sim Pilot live. Best user on YouTube in my opinion. That's very kind. Thanks so much. Thanks for coming along. I have not landed at Los Angeles, sadly. I would like to, but I have not yet. Happy Thursday, Castle Gaming. Thanks for coming along. Can you do instant align? You can choose the align speed, like lots of these airplanes, in the settings.
125, clear to destination.
Wear and tear. Oh, where is it? I'm sure you can. IRS time. There you go. So I've done it for fast. So I'm just gonna, let's just talk it to air traffic. Make sure we don't waste our time, which is very common on my streams, right?
Clear to my final destination. Punta Raisi, Ajax Tibri, 5 Alpha, Static 9 Alpha, initial climb 4,000.
So we have uniform, QNH 1012. How's the sound? Can you hear the airplane? Can you hear the APU from the outside? Can you hear the internal fans? Fiumicino ground, Alitalia 348, A300-600 with information uniform QNH 1012, request clearance, Athens.
Ali 348, welcome to Fiumicino, sir. You put in your flight plan, flight level 100, is it correct? Interrogative.
Apologies, no, we'd like a final level of 330, Alitalia 348, thank you.
Okay, Ali 348, your flight plan is now modified for flight level 330, clear to Athens, Xibri 5 Alpha, PX 9 Alpha, runway 25, initial climb 4,000 feet, squawk 5513.
Thank you so much for doing that. We are cleared to Athens via Xibri 5 Alpha, PX 9 Alpha, runway 25, climb maintained 4,000 feet, squawk 5513, Alitalia 348. I think that was okay. Normally you get an acknowledgement, but it could be busy fixing my flight plan. 5513. That's the transponder. Let's see if we can turn these on. No, it's not aligning. What am I doing wrong up here? Align mode, align mode, align mode. Yeah, it hasn't. I didn't do the align in here, did I? Where is it written? Where's the init? There it is, init. Why doesn't it think we can align it? Well, it's an airplane. Just like a computer, there's only one thing for it. We'll turn them off, turn them back on again, in the hope that we can fix that. That's strange. It shouldn't give us faults for turning them off. But anyway, we will see how that goes. Right. Init R4.
Clear to Malpensa. Sosiv 5 Alpha. Sovan 7 Alpha. Runway 25, initial climb.
Yeah, that's the landing weight. No, it's strange. It did have the prompt and I didn't select it.
Clear to destination.
Init A, yeah, indeed, which is where I am.
7 Alpha transition, runway 25.
Oh, sorry, there we go. Init A, 4 right. Yeah.
I changed the stand for another traffic. Yeah, I'm in.
It's not prompting us, but we'll realign it and then we'll try that. They've been off for long enough now.
Thank you very much for
Nav. Let's just get the right charts up. So, Pepix 9 Alpha. Now Rome has strange departures, so we're going out via Zibri. So we go. He said Zibri 5 Alpha, Pepix 9 Alpha. Sounds good. Excellent, Emma. Thanks so much. That's good to hear. Good evening, Hayden J. Robbins. Thanks for coming along. I hope you're doing very well. Glad you came along.
Zibri 5 Alpha, Pepix 9 Alpha, runway 25.
James got 25. Excellent. Yep, so it's working out. Right, so Zibri, Elvin, Admop, and then down to Pepix. And here's the Zibri 5 Alpha departure. Takes off from runway 25, RF 786, max 200, then Zibri. Now, I don't want to go too far if we're not going to be able to figure this out. There we go. It's appeared. So hopefully now, as they spool up, they will come to life, but we have at least pressed the prompt. Good. So, takeoff, runway.
9007. I have a new stand for you.
25.
Stand 410.
And this is unusual to have two departures like this, because we're flight planned not via Zibri but via Pepix, but that is hidden away. But Pepix 9 Alpha. So anyway, you've just got to connect the dots as ever. So let's look for the Zibri. Oh no, it's not next page. I'm not in a Boeing. Oh dear.
Delta 183 heavy.
So many departures. Zibri 5 Alpha. And then the transition is the Pepix 9 Alpha from runway 25. Insert. Then that takes us down. So let's just check that works. So runway 25, takeoff, RF 777, RF 786, which is actually 200 knots, which is in there. Then Zibri. So we need to watch out. It will accelerate above 3,000. And then Elvin. Admop Pepix, which is this chart. Admop Pepix above 100, and then Roton above 110, and then this follows our route all the way down to our arrival into Athena. This should be a really spectacular flight. I love this part of Rome to fly over. Oh, Italy, sorry. I just hope it's nice enough weather. Good. We are just waiting for those IRSs to align. Oh yeah, Hayden says we need the 80k special. I know. How have I not managed that? It's unbelievable. Just trying to trying to make sure we can get the all the other streams and videos in. Yeah, absolutely good point. Yeah, well, as there's the Twitch. Thank you so much, Dougal. If you'd like to join us on Twitch, you can go there.
Continue taxi left on Golf. Then Charlie Foxtrot, stand 507.
IRS in a line, so that's good. So I'm hoping that will all spring to life. This is a Airbus, so actually we are allowed to put in the
Sorry, sir.
runway 25.
No worries.
We were cleared via runway 25.
Normally we have I see the 80s for the
2108.
For the arrival one is only runway 16.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Okay, so arriving on 16. Good. Just making sure I haven't got the runway change coming. 200. So that's going to be
125. Push stop road facing
runway 21.
north.
Unusually, X-ray.
Push stop facing north.
No miss arrival.
By 121.
Good stuff. Let's do it the old-fashioned Airbus way. So we've done data. Init A is done finally. Diff flight plan we've done. Secondary. Copy the active. Radnav. There we go. GPS primary. That's good news. Yes, it's coming to life now. Then next is going to be Init B. And actually, let's just change that cruise level. It's got convinced about this, but that was just a step level.
Pushing back behind you. I call you back as soon as possible.
330, and of course it accepts it because it's not a Boeing. You have to do slashes and all that nonsense. Good, and let's just stick in our alternate fuel.
Thank you very much for cooperation.
Alternate fuel is 2.9. Thirsty. This is a thirsty jet from a previous generation.
Good morning. AGN 891 with information.
Good stuff. They've actually upgraded. It's all coming together.
AGN 891. Welcome to Airport.
Now let's just finish up setting up the airplane.
Also for you, you put your
Down here we've got the
flight
QNH,
level 100.
and we've
Is
got
that
the
correct, or do you want to change it,
anti-skid into
sorry,
norm,
target?
and these are at idle, those are off. Speed
Stand
brakes,
by.
flaps,
I'll,
parking brakes
fix
set,
it up for you and I'll let you know.
and there we go.
I can do yours. I can do for you, sir. If you choose
I'm just going to
flight level, I
set
can
the
modify
altitude
myself,
4,000
don't worry.
feet, which is what we've cleared to, and we're
yes,
going from
please.
runway 25.
You prefer 330, 350?
330 if possible.
3, 4, 5.
Okay.
Good stuff.
In 801, your flight plan is
Goods,
modified for
have
flight level
constraints,
330.
airports. I know we can only have one. Ah, nice thing about the Boeing, you can have both of those.
5 Alpha,
And the flight directors are on in VS and heading,
9
but we will change that
Alpha,
later.
runway 25, initial
I can find the
climb,
little toga button.
4,000 feet, squawk 5520.
It was this, wasn't it? You press this. Excellent. Right. Good stuff. Good stuff. We're getting there. We are getting there. Sean Cobb says, I flew the same flight plan in the 320 version 2 of the beta. There's a bit of weather happening around the time you reach the end of the departure with flight number 190 as my cruise. Interesting. Thanks very much, Sean. Looking forward to seeing it. We'll have the weather radar on as well.
Yes, sir.
Full
If
Prawn
you
says
send
it's great
me
that you've managed to do
request,
so many new
I can-
videos
I
despite your
can
long haul
send
lifestyle.
you
Thanks, Full Prawns.
because
I'm
I
glad
think
you think so, because yeah, I was feeling and it's difficult at times to get them in, but I think we've been managing. It's a little less than we used to manage, but hopefully consistent enough, and hopefully you guys are enjoying them. The podcast. Okay, sorry, Danvos. Yeah, podcast is
In case
on the
agent
list
101,
of
I
things
clear
that people
that
would
list,
like.
okay?
I need to add that into that is in the to-do pile along with the 80k stream.
Copy that.
Yeah. It's just every time I sit down to change something or do something else, I end up having with a video that seems to need doing. So there we go. Right. So let's do our performance.
Delta 183 heavy, taxi to holding point, Bravo Alpha.
So if I synchronize this,
25,
would it pick up runway
Mike,
25?
Tango,
How does it
and
work?
Bravo,
No.
QNH 1012.
Runway 25. Wait, 124299, 20012. I'm going to make it wet. Heading 249, 16 degrees, 1012. That's all correct. And let's just check the weights. So we have a max of fuel 27.72 and a gross weight Mac of 30.4. We have a zero fuel weight of 109.19. Takeoff weight 124.3. Good stuff. Good stuff. Heavy airplane this. Although I suppose it is half the weight of a Dreamliner. I forget how heavy the Dreamliner really is. Good. So performance.
November Charlie Hotel.
124. Yeah, that's all correct. We'll do 15. We won't force toga. We don't need the anti-ice. We will have the air condition on because it makes my life easier. And there's our calculation. Great stuff. So, go to the yoke for a second. We will put in the block fuel. It's 15.6. We are slowly going to get through that. Zero fuel weight is 109.
After departing
Point 2.
Take
Takeoff gross weight 1245, 1243, so that pretty much matches. Zero fuel HCG 27.7. Such a responsive MCDU this, I really like it. Good, and then next page is the actual takeoff that we need to do, slightly different. We're going to go full length, and we've got flex 63, 151, 155, 163, 151, 155. Then we set this to 163. Go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 163. Good. It's been here half an hour. We're getting there though. We're getting there. Good stuff. Let me just check everything's going well. Good. Thank you for those who are joining us on Twitch. I hope you're enjoying the experience. And thank you, of course, to everyone on YouTube as ever. So, do live chats. There we go. Right, so we have our performance. Runway, heading, VS. Good. Autopilots are off for now. And we've got the constraints on. These modes will change when we select them. Now, there's our speeds. We can go up to 170 tons, so we're well clear of that. Trim is 0.0. Interesting. SimBrief is very good at trimming the airplanes to almost the neutral trim. It always seems to do it. And we have a flex of 63. So we go over to a little performance calculator. Athens is a little bit above sea level. And we're going to put in flex. So we'll do a flex takeoff. And it's quite a high flex. It's a good headwind, so it gives us a lot of options to derate. Flex 63. We're in flex takeoff.
Okay, Aegean
Good.
891, clear to Athens
Right.
via the
Brake fans are off.
35
Last doors to close. So diffs, rear, in B and performance are all done. And I think we're pretty much there. We're talking to traffic control. Let's get some doors closed up. We want to get going. About 1 hour. How long is the flight time today? It's not that long. 1 hour 40. So one of our pretty reasonable time to chat, certainly.
Delta 183.
Ground equipment.
Midway to the company Boeing.
Now,
7,
something that Boeing does do automatically is swap over from ground power. This airplane does not. So the APU gen is on. So let's remove the external power. APU is available. That's gone. Good. You get that clunk, which you also don't get. The 787 doesn't clunk at all. It's quite impressive. Goodbye to the chocks. Let's close one left. Goodbye to the jetty, the ground power unit, catering, luggage. Doors are closing, and fuel. We're getting ready to go, everyone. Please leave us alone. Oh, no. No, that's the wrong way round. Not quite sure. Let's just do close the doors. Thank you very much. There we go. There's that jetty removed. No, it's closed. It's opening the front one. Oh, at least the jetty's gone. Oh, and it's blown a slide. Blowing a slide is, not a good thing to do in a real airplane. It does occasionally happen, sadly. So we can actually get rid of that. If we go to maintenance, reset the slides. Then we'll go to ground equipment. Close the doors. No catering. We're ready to go. At least the slide's sorted.
Ryanair 125,
Right.
contact Roma Radar 125.5. Ciao.
Look at the weather. Really deteriorated since we sat here. Hopefully it'll be nice once we get a bit higher. Let's just do a quick check at the airport charts. We are here on stand 60654 604.
260 to Bravo Alpha, contact 15.183 heavy. Have a nice day, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, good slide. Indeed it is. Playing musical cargo doors. It is, yeah, it's a bit of a game. The caterer will hopefully go away in a second. Why are you not using the new MCDU for the CPDLC stuff? Asked Christoph, by the way. I have not ever successfully, there goes the caterer, got CPDLC to work in my sim. I have tried a couple of times, but I have not been able to get the Hoppy CPDLC to work for me. So that's why I haven't got it in use today. Right, I'm hoping... Yes, next will be to arm the doors. Good. Emergency slides red, armed, green, disarmed. So the doors are disarmed at the moment. That's what we wanted. Okay, so let's think. We've got to just do a quick brief of our taxi out. So 604 out. Got to be careful. You've got Sierra and Hotel. And then we could end up out on Bravo as we head out and taxi along. We can go full length, so Bravo, 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 Alpha for runway 25 departure. We're going to watch out on this departure. It's a relatively low MSA, 2,300 feet in this direction, but it does obviously have this speed restriction, 200 knots initially, so we'll just watch the flaps. We're taking off flaps 15 and 15, which is shown on here. Does it give us a speed limit? Yeah, 215 knots, so pretty tight. So we just got to watch out because it will accelerate on us automatically if we leave it in managed nav, as it were, managed climb. Raining again. We're going to wet performance, so we're accounting for that. Non icing conditions. I think we're pretty much there, ready to go. Yeah, good stuff. So let's run a checklist. So they do have those in here. It's good EFB, this one. It is good. My flights, checklists. So copy prep completed. Fuel quantity 15.6 tons. We have takeoff data set. We have. Let's just go to takeoff both sides and 163. Landing elevation set. Altimeters are on QNH 1012, just above sea level. Brake anti-skid normal and on. So that is here normal, and then anti-skid is on in the normal position. Windows doors closed, and next will be beacons. So let's just call it up. We don't have to pressurize because it's an Airbus, which is great news. before we move ground. Alitalia 348 stand 604, request push and start.
Italia 348, push and start road facing north. Please use caution, traffic is pushing back in the parallel taxiway.
Thank you. Push approved, facing north, caution, traffic on the parallel taxiway. Alitalia 348. Okay, so that's done. So next will be beacon. Check these are at idle. We have got the windows definitely closed up. And down here, beacon on, parking brake as required. Good stuff. Oh yeah, transponder. That's the other one. Transponder. Great. Let me close the checklists. Put that tiller where it was. Yeah, good. And ground equipment. Let's see if we can get this to work. Here it comes. This might work. And there's the traffic. I'm glad we don't have to do that the P and the G and guess the distance, which I can find a complete nightmare. Thanks, Neil, for the subscription. And Roberto, who subscribed a little bit earlier. I did update the airplane. MSJN says, this is where I'd immediately slam into the other guy. Well, it could happen. Beluga, hello to you. I like the name. It's funny, isn't it? Airbuses we don't have to pressurise, but the all the Boeings do. But the 787 we pressurise, yet it doesn't really do anything. Right, brakes released. Off we go. Let's get this right before my computer completely gives up. I like that view. It's just a little bit too dim. I don't like that view. I don't really like that view. No, that's the wing view we're going to have.
Ready for taxi.
Right, let's get this right.
999, taxi to holding point Bravo Bravo runway 25 via Tango and Bravo QNH 101.
How tight's the turn? Oh, this could work out.
Taxi to holding point Bravo Bravo runway 25.
Alitalia never used A300-600R. I thought they did. Maybe this is fictional. Epilet, good to see you. Thanks for coming along.
NR 121, contact radar 125.5. Ciao.
Showers passed through, that's good news. We have indeed been careful of that other traffic, so that's good news. We successfully missed them. I'm pleased with that. Do a little bit of straight. You want to align that nose wheel, and then we can stop. Oh, that's good. I like direct feedback, pushback. Parking brake set. Chug can go. Automatically, love it. That's great. Let's get those engines up and running. It's time. So, we'll start the left engine first. What did the Airbus do? Let me think about this. No, on the Airbus you start the right engine first. Then you start number 2 first. So we'll do number 2. Starts. Open. Start valves open. Number 2 starts spinning around. Richard V, good to see you. Thanks so much for coming along. Great to have you here. Hope you're doing very, very well. Laura V said, as you've said frequently, why would you ever want that off? Indeed. 20%. Fuel, please. Let's check for fuel flow. There's fuel flow. EGT. Hopefully you can hear that. Lovely sounds. You know, I've been at airports with A300s, A310s around, and you can hear them because they do sound just like this. They get a very distinctive noise. And that'll be the first of our hydraulic systems powering up. Now we have some flight controls.
Hello, sir. Welcome to transmission information on Victor.
That's all working? Yeah, great to see you, Richard V. Richard V's been with the channel a long time. But yeah, great to have you back today. Right, that's all stabilised. Has the starter ticked off? It has indeed, starting number 1.
Athens, Xibri 5 Alpha, Pepix 9 Alpha.
Castles, I love the Airbus startup sounds, especially the IE engine and the Phoenix. Yeah, they are good. We need to fly the Phoenix again. We do need to fly that.
Clear to Athens via the Zebri 5 Alpha, APX 9 Alpha.
Here's a question. If I haven't been able to get a live stream in, are any of you interested in me just flying a flight offline but in the sim with an airplane like the Phoenix? Or is that just redundant? You tell me. I've never really done it. There you go, fuel on. But if I was to just run a flight in an airplane and just upload it, I don't know. Now everyone puts DH-5 here, so I'm going to do that. I think it's to avoid nuisance cautions. And there we go, accelerating nicely. Let's see if I can get the after start flow right in the Airbus. Yeah, I haven't seen a cargo A320 or 321, Dougal. That's a good question. I wouldn't be surprised if it has, but I haven't seen it. Robert says, perhaps have to do something interesting like failures to make up for it. Fair enough, yeah, fair enough. Hayden's very kind, all 320 compilot. All 320 sim pilot content is appreciated. Thank you, Hayden, appreciate it. Razor likes the live streams, it's nice to talk to you. Yeah, fair enough. I do struggle a little bit with the timings for the live streams, but I think we can keep them consistent, or certainly no less than we have at the moment, which is good. Maybe even a little more. Right, that starts up nicely. This can go to off. The gens are online, so we can turn off the APU and APU air. I love that we don't have to turn off the bleeds; it seems to just work on its own, or the pack, sorry. And anti-ice we're going to leave off. We don't need it. Moving down. Flaps 15. Rudder trims at 0. What else do we do in an Airbus? Don't do the flight controls yet. That's on the taxi out, along with the brakes. Trim 0.00 wanted. So we do actually have to move it. That's a shame. Oh. Nathan says it's crazy to see how much free time a 787 pilot has. Airlines are the dream. Indeed. I mean, I get a lot of my videos done on my laptop nowadays, so I get them done while I'm away, sat in a hotel or something like that, at 3 o'clock in the morning local time when I'm awake and everyone else is asleep. Good. I will answer the questions. I can see some questions coming into the chat. I try and do those in the cruise, but we'll have time. So do please ask those questions again once we are in the cruise. Right, checklist time. I'll start. Pitch trim set, rudder trim 0, spoilers arm, slaps 15. Ecam status. Oh, yeah, status. Status. How have I got air traffic? I thought I turned off AI traffic. Anti-ice not required. Hand signal received. That's the after checks complete. I cannot believe we're getting a clearance. Go to the status message.
Speedbird 3.9 contact Roma radar 125.5.
I must have AI traffic on to some extent. Alitalia 348 request taxi.
Takeoff runway 25 climb and maintain.
Speedbird 3.9 ground.
Departure on 1 tree 1.1 squawk tree 27 tree. Lufthansa 7 tree 4 read back correct.
Roma ground attack, trying to contact Speedbird 999.
Decimal niner.
Yes sir, contact please Roma radar 125.5.
125.5. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Sean calling, say again.
Alitalia 348 request taxi.
Italia 348 taxi to holding point runway 25 via Sierra, Mike, Romeo and Bravo QNH 1012.
Thank you. Taxi runway 25 via Sierra, Mike, Romeo, Bravo, QNH 1012. Alitalia 348. Excellent. So that is, we are here forwards, Sierra, first right onto Mike, Romeo, out onto Bravo, and then to departure. Let's see, can we get this right just once on a stream, please? Brakes release, put our tax light on, let's go.
Nevian 602 ground.
Doesn't look like much flaps, does it? But it's supposed to be enough.
Nevian 692.
I have flown. I haven't flown the LVFR one. I've flown the. Is it the Headwind 330? Robert says you should see how much free time he has when he's mid-Atlantic. Indeed. Sadly, I can't make videos mid-Atlantic, but yeah. If you are interested in what we do sitting over the ocean, I do have a video on what long-haul pilots do on the channel. Also, a new video is up on the channel, which I haven't announced on the Discord yet. We'll just do a brake check, which we don't need to do on the 7.8, but there we go. I suppose because they're electric. Okay, we're going right here. Why are we hearing it request to end pushback? That's ridiculous. The Microsoft Flight Simulator ATC default is just shocking sometimes. Where is this Lufthansa? It's going to get in our way, isn't it? Oh, there it is. It was right next to us. And Lauren says no Wi-Fi to stream with. Indeed. Right, left here, which is Romeo, and then we're going to take Bravo, which is the outer taxiway. Then we can do our flight controls, or ETA 350, just lovely. Castle says, is it editing the videos, posting them when travelling, or do you run the streams recording on the trips? So I don't run the streams. I've never run a stream on a trip. I can make the videos. Let's just check we get this right. So we want to go on to Bravo, which is this one. So I can make videos. Oh, look at that, beautiful. Velocity doing a good job there. Yeah, I can make videos and record them and render them and even upload them if the Wi-Fi is good enough, but I can't stream. I've never tried. It'd probably be possible, but it would be some strange times, although that might work in my advantage. The other thing is I don't have all my controls, but it's not to say I couldn't get away with it. I suspect I could probably manage with an Xbox controller. I've tried a lot of these airplanes, including this airplane actually with the Xbox controller. A lot of my new videos have been done. But yeah, new video on the channel is the Beechcraft Duke, the black square one. Really interesting, ridiculously detailed add-on, and I really recommend having a look at that video if you're interested at all in it. It's a powerful, fast, complex, and like I say, incredibly detailed. It has things like St Elmo's fire. It has the audio changes if the engines are cold. You can heat them up before starting. You have to run the oil. The cowl flap will obviously adjust the temperatures in the cylinders, and they've got this amazing visualization of it. So I can highly recommend that. This airplane does cost money-wise, 54, but I would recommend just flying the A310, which is free, which I think is pretty much is 90% of the experience of this one in terms of experience. There are details in this that fans will want to have, and I think they've done a great job with it, no doubt. But yeah, the A310 is a very similar experience if you aren't specific about your retro Airbus flying. Right, let's do the flight controls check. So, don't think it's going to show up automatically. I am going to stop for a second. I hope no one was behind us. That Lufthansa. Go full right, full left, neutral, up, down, neutral, left, right, neutral. Good. We'll carry on our taxi. That was us. 125.5 Alitalia 348. Grazie mille. Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Right, that is 1255. Very nice controller looking after us there. It's always great when we have air traffic. Let's not go off the taxiway doing this. Who's in the Cessna Caravan, or is that just my AI traffic, which I'm sure I turned off? I don't understand how it's crept back in. Oh, this is going to be bad if I have to do this on approach. Right, it's running away. We are light for an A300. I can feel that. Lauren B says, Xbox controller is serviceable, especially for the Airbus. Used one before I could get hold of a TCA side stick back when they were in high demand in 2020. Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah. And I found that the trimming mechanism they invented for the Xbox controllers is surprisingly intuitive. I actually quite like it. Right, we've got our speeds. We have not armed the right mode, so let's arm profile and nav. There we go. Profile climb nav. So that should go. It should go SRS. Toga SRS. So it should say Toga and SRS, and then give us the. It'll move over into profile climb nav. We've got our 63 degrees here, and we have our V2 speed of 163. Rotate loaded in as well.
Ready for departure?
Now the cool thing about Fiumicino is you get 2 departure points. So hopefully that FedEx will have to sit there. AI taking over the world. Indeed it is. Nathan says, what else do we do in an Airbus? Asked A320 Simpilot. Indeed, I know. It's a sad state of affairs where we've got to, with our Airbus Airbusing. I haven't done the auto brake. There you go.
Speedbird runway 25, clear for takeoff, wind 220 degrees 10 knots.
Ah, Speedbird, but it's showing up as a Caledonian. How interesting.
Thank you. Go. Speedbird 999.
So you can intimidate the other pilots. Ah, they're lining up anyway. Brake set. Let's run the for takeoff checklist. Do I really have to click there? Goodness me. Flight controls checked and flight instruments are checked. Briefing confirmed. V1, VR, V2, flex temp. We have 151, 155, 163 and flex of 63 degrees. Slats flaps are 15, 15 for both. Takeoff config, normal for takeoff. So where's the takeoff config button? I'm just going to release the... That's the accumulated pressure. That's takeoff config. So brakes released. Takeoff config normal. Transponder, we'll put that to TAR8. Let's put the weather radar on. That's showing up weather on there. That's great. Transponder, TCAS, auto brake, and ignition. Don't need those. Buongiorno, Alitalia 348, holding point ready for departure.
Alitalia 348, 25, line up and wait.
9.25, Alitalia 348. Excellent. We'll put the lights on. The hardest switch in any Airbus in the sim. Put the strobes on.
Flower 738, speed
have all the lights, why not?
Fly presented.
Right, clear on the approach. Brakes released. Just bring that range in a little bit. And as we turn the corner, we'll get an idea.
Radar contact, climb flight level 190.
Radar contact 19, flight level 19.
I think we're pretty much ready to go. Exciting.
Ryanair 121, Federati Motor Unicom, ciao.
Unicom, 121, grazie mille, ciao.
Go on airplane.
Ryanair 4 Yankee Tango, Federati
You can do
Motor
it.
Unicom, ciao.
Unicom, Ryanair 4 Yankee Tango, buona serata.
It is not moving.
The 9er, fly direct Betty.
Speedbird 999, repeat.
Speedbird 9er, fly
Right,
direct
what am I doing wrong?
Papa, Papa, India X.
Seatbelts, no smoking, landing lights.
Speedbird 999.
The parking brake is off. Ah, yes, you're right. Pre-select the V2. And then we can set 210. Or it's 200 initially in this airplane. But we do have a big problem. Ah, toe brakes. Yep, spot on. Thank you so much. They were jammed on. Excellent. You can get stuck in uphill in a groove or in a really hot runway that's melted. You can get really stuck. Airplanes do not like low power on the ground.
Runway 25, clear for takeoff, wind 220 degrees 10 knots.
Good takeoff runway 25, Alitalia 348. Good. So we've done all the checks. Let's just have a look at the weather radar before we go, as we have the luxury. I'm just going to taxi forward to the runway, which is where we want to depart from. Actually, it looks pretty good. We're going to go between the weather. That's the sort of that's the dream, right? When you see that line just feed between the worst of the weather. We know the wind is a headwind, so this is coming towards us, but this is moving away from the flight path.
738, fly heading 130.
Right. I think we're ready to go. Is everyone ready? Let's get going. It's an Airbus, so we do 40, 50. Forward, yoke, release the toe brakes. Not that one. This one. There we go. Right, thrust, SRS heading. Profile, climb armed and nav armed. Or blue, I should say.
Flower 738, clear the
I'm sure that's changed. It used to be the rudder one, I'm sure. It's over responsive on the rudder. 100 knots, 6 neutral. Yeah, it's very over responsive. That's a shame. V1, rotate. Let it weathercock. Positive climb. Gear up. Very hard to swap between positive rate and positive climb. I do struggle not to say climb still on the Boeing. That weather is getting closer nice and quickly. Beautiful. Away we go. Those showers behind us. Excellent. Beautiful weather engine.
Italia 348 radar contact, climb flight level 19RG.
Climb flight level 190 out of Italia 348. Oh, it's nice to hand fly this. I do like this aeroplane. Shame we haven't got another pilot to do that for us. 190.
AG 891.
We're in profile thrust, profile climb nav, so that's all correct. Autopilot on. Flaps to 1. Oh, sorry, S I should say. Well, it is 1, isn't it? And it's still aiming for 200 knots, so we'll leave it there. Because I'm not sure where the clean speed will be. Direct to Pepix out of Italia 348. Scratch it. Right. Direct. I like this page a lot. I miss it. Insert. There it is. That will remove the restriction, so you can see the target speed has jumped. So let's just manage it. 250, accelerating, flaps up. Disarm the ground spoilers. Gears up, flaps are up, and we'll get rid of the nose lights. Leave the landing lights. Get rid of the turn-off lights.
Runway 25.
Now we don't have automatic anti-ice, so I must remember to do that myself. But away we go. That took us an hour. But we are in the air within an hour. That's not the worst we've ever done. We're going up to flight level 190, so let's set standards. Standard. Once, twice, thrice. Good. Acceleration to 250. I'll take off climb jet. Slats retracted. Landing gear. Up. Now it should go to neutral.
Fly direct, flying, so.
Which works. Excellent.
Speed by 999.
And packs on. Now we did a packs on takeoff. We have pressure. So yeah. Yep, that's all running. And altimeters are on 1013. Both. Next is the approach checklist. Good stuff. Weather radar off to the left there, but I think that will work out nicely.
Yeah, 35 Bravo, we are at Bravo Alpha.
35 Bravo, runway 25.
Thanks, Richard V. Yep, toe brakes fixed it.
Runway 25, line
Well spotted, everyone.
35 Bravo.
I haven't tried the Sky Simulations MD-11. I have not tried it. Laura V says, usually the big plane intimidates a smaller one, but I've had to use my A320 to bully a 787 out of the runway exit while they were taking an age to figure out their gate. Excellent. It can happen. Epilet says, what is the stop rudder input for, since you would need it when manually in turns, or is it excessive side slip or a glider issue, especially when flying? I'll answer that in just a moment. The airplane will say Tatin ice range. Thanks, Christoph. Okay. Through 10,000 feet, accelerating. Get rid of landing lights. The weather has, and retract them as well. The weather has done what we'd hoped. I think we can let the seatbelts out. And we can copy the active. And we didn't have any tuned nav aids anyway. We were just doing all on our nav, so that's all good. Up the range. Accelerating. Wow, fast climb. Goodness me. Oh, beautiful.
No facility, Clement, you come, thank you.
What a machine. Love it. I think this would have been a fun airplane to fly around in.
73816 right, clear to land, wind 220 degrees 10.
Clear to land, runway 16 right.
Good. So, some questions there. What's this rudder input stop for? This is...
Italia 348, fly direct. Flight.
Get another shortcut. Not bad.
Italia 348, fly direct Sorrento, Sierra Oscar Romeo.
Try to Sorrento, Alitalia 348. That's it. Right, Sorrento. Oh no, can't do it like that. It's not a Boeing. Ah, dear, these little things, eh? Sorrento to the top. Didn't need to do that either. That's a Boeing thing. It's amazing. It's amazing where the muscle memory goes. Left turn to Sorrento looks good. It is 139 miles away, so just up the range once more. There it is. 320 knots. Yeah, so... Yeah, Lauren V's got it spot on, as ever. So, yeah, rudder input stop. It's added in. You can see it's actually been bolted into the panel. It's not normally there. There was a whole thing about an A300 crash. There's been a few nasty crashes of A300s, sadly. But it crashed, and the reason was the Tatin icing range were not in moisture. It actually... The pilot responded to wake turbulence with the rudder, which is an unusual thing to do, I must say. And they... managed to rip the tail off, sadly, which then caused the airplane to crash. It's a fatal accident. So that there was a whole thing.
348, no Federated C, monitor Unicom, ciao.
Monitor Unicom, Alitalia 348. Grazie mille, ciao. 1228. There was a whole thing about the rudder pedals being too light and easy to over control. Apparently, there'd been complaints about it before. But they weren't changed. So after that crash, this system was added in to warn you. And I believe modern Airbuses are heavier on the rudder. It certainly was much lighter than other airplanes of the era, which would have been a bit heavier on the controls. So yeah, it was. That's where that comes from.
That's it, 999, flight level 190.
James Atkinson says, I think I dropped back into Mountain 999 rather than Speedbird. Again, I'm not good with call signs. No, it's a hard one to get right. Beluga, indeed, I fly the 787 Dreamliner. But yeah, so the rudder input is a strange one, and it's a sad one, but that's why it's there. And, you know, something that shouldn't have happened. I've never used the rudder to correct for turbulence on any jet airliner, but I don't for a second want to suggest that I know what that pilot was experiencing at the time. Right, we want to go to 330 profile. There we go. Engine spooling up. Climb resuming. Excellent. Yeah, it's an unusual thing to do, but if they felt that the airplane was losing control, because wake turbulence can be very severe, then they may have thought they needed to do something like that to fix it. Hayden J. Robbins, thank you so much for the £3 super chat. Really appreciate it. Hayden says, see what I did here? Haha, great to see you, Cap. That's so great. Thank you so much, Hayden. Really, really appreciate it. Indeed, 300. I need to get more expensive airplanes for you, but that's very kind. Thank you, Hayden, for supporting the channel as ever, and thank you for your enthusiasm and for being here today. I hope you're doing very well. Oh yeah, I can do this now, can't I? Excellent. But yeah, great to see you, Hayden, and I hope you're enjoying the stream. And as Hayden did say, thanks so much for saying that, Hayden. If you can, leave a like on YouTube. It makes a huge difference to the channel. Really, really helps us out. Good. No problem, Epilet. No problem at all. Typing is never easy. I have a keyboard that is very difficult to type on, and I get about a mistake per word at the moment. The rudder thing for wake is generally a thing you'll see in light aircraft, says Lauren V. At the time, there was no guidance from American Airlines or Airbus saying not to do that in the A300. There you go. There you go. Luke, good to see you. Thanks for joining us live. Reza says, excuse me, you should have donated 300 quid. It's an A300. Oh, dear. Good stuff. So, Climax Cruise. It's a dangerous feeling. If you think you've done everything, you haven't. So what are we missing? Just check the... Let's check the performance. Make sure we can climb up that high. Progress, that's what we need. So, Optum 358, Cruise 33, Max 38. So, yeah, we can go all the way up. That's good news. I didn't load in the winds, did I? Cruise wind. No, it did. It already loaded them in. Good news. Good news. Not so crucial on these shorter flights. Airplane is very quiet. Very quiet. I think we can change that. Oh yeah, no, I turned them up. Just a nice airplane to sit in then. Can't complain at that. Progress bar is running. I am annoyed that Navigraph changed this to be so dark blue. It ruins my overlay, but there we go. Christoph, it is possible I'm using the wrong version, but I don't think so. I think I updated it. I did. I used the INI manager. Shame it's a bit cloudy. Let's hoping for a bit more of a view of Italy as we fly down the coast. We are effectively flying down the coastline, then we'll cross over just north of Sicily over to Athens. Or presumably past Naples soon. Let's put in airports. We don't need constraints anymore. Nope, too much. Be on here as well. There's Napoli. Nap. So yeah, just before Sorrento, we should be able to see it. Oh, maybe I'm not then. I don't know how I missed that. I did try. I specifically updated it. But no, I do not have a landing calculator. So yeah, I must be 1 or 2 behind. That's a shame. I don't know what I did wrong. Free Scratch says, have my final assessment for my MCC tomorrow on the A320. Your videos have been a huge help. Wanted to pop in and say thanks. You're very welcome, Free Scratch. Not for any real world use, but yeah, excellent. I hope you have a good... I hope it goes well. I'm sure it will. Fantastic. And enjoy. Enjoy. Good times. Exciting. Nathan says, what is your favourite place to stop for breakfast, lunch in Paris? I'm not overly familiar with Paris. It's not one place I've spent a lot of time. So there is a cafe I've been to by the Arc de Triomphe. That's where I used to go. But it was always so expensive. There's always that temptation of McDonald's because you know the price. And McDonald's in Europe are actually quite good. They have the McCafe stuff. This probably isn't what I should be saying. But yeah. But there is a cafe I've been to. But it was... I mean, obviously, it's a tourist attraction, the Arc de Triomphe. So to be right next to it, they could just charge what they wanted. And they certainly did. They certainly did. Free Scratch makes a good point. It's only a sim anyway. Yeah, fair enough. Iglofu says 310 and new 320 do it too, where it gets real quiet after like 5,000. Yeah, the engine roar does die down. Like that buzzsaw sound, you hear it just after takeoff on the Airbus. It does fade a little bit as you get higher, so not unreasonable. Getting a bit sunny. A bit sunny for us here. Don't know if there's another visor available. Doesn't look like it. Nope. Laurie said they've had McCafe in the US for years. Their worldwide standards are higher than they used to be. Coffee ain't bad for a buck. Yeah. Yeah, I could agree with that. I don't go to McDonald's in America very much. The McFlurries in Europe are also much better than in the UK. The best McFlurry I've ever had was in Argentina. The McCafe counter at the Paris McDonald's is pretty impressive. Yeah, it is. It's good, Tim K. I do agree. Raza says, this is a crazy pilot who travels the world telling us that McDonald's is food of choice abroad. It's not. I would say that. It's just in Paris, I have found it used to cool me more. Lauren V's never had a McFlurry. Well, that's quite something. Luke says European Macca's is much better than the UK. I could agree with that. So in Argentina, they do a McFlurry that is called a crustado, something like that, which means crust. And you can choose vanilla or caramel ice cream or mix. You choose a sauce, which they line the McFlurry cup with. Then you choose your topping. And instead of just in the UK, you just get a light sprinkle of topping. It's really nothing. And it's mostly just empty plain vanilla ice cream. But in this one in Argentina, you got all those different flavors already, and then you choose, so you have like Kit Kat, and then they would melt chocolate and then put the Kit Kat chunks into that bit, which formed this thick, like I'd say like at least a centimeter of chocolate crust with Kit Kat sticking out of it. So to eat your McFlurry, you broke through this sort of hot melted chocolate through to your McFlurry. It was amazing. It was amazing. I can't believe it. Anyway, I'll stop advertising McDonald's McFlurries. I don't think McDonald's need need advertising. But yeah, that showed me what a McFlurry could be compared to what I've seen in the UK. Lorenzo says, I have a question. In cockpit videos on YouTube, I noticed that pilots always move the yoke around so much during landing. Explain why this is. Well, I can't explain why everyone does it or why the videos you've seen have it. It could have been really windy days. If it is windy, and that's often a reason, that you'll have been clicking on the video if it's a nice windy approach and landing. But what happens is can we see Naples yet? Oh, it's so annoying. Why is it cloudy? It's down there. We're going to miss it. I even put in the description scenic flight. The reason is in windy conditions you have to work harder on the yoke to keep the airplane stable and where you want it. You have to keep guiding the airplane to be in the bit of airspace you want it to be in. So that's what you're moving the yoke for. Now, you may have also seen some pilots, it's easy to over control as a pilot. So you can start feeling like you need to move a lot more than that actually really makes much difference. But it does depend on the airplane. Some airplanes respond better to that sort of thing, or they don't respond very well in the first place, so they might need more input on the yoke, and some airplanes need hardly any. The Airbus is, after all, a stabilized airplane. The normal flight control laws will keep it where it is pretty much, so you don't find Airbus needing much input at all. But some pilots, and I've seen videos of incredible amounts of side stick input in the flare and so on. I actually it's amazing how much some people put in, and it just doesn't do anything. You end up neutralizing yourself. But I can't criticize anyone. I've done it as well. It's something that's easy to do, and I found when I've been up since 4 o'clock in the morning or something like that, then it's much more easy to do. The 787, you definitely don't want to do that, because it works a bit like an Airbus. It has the flight control laws and so on. It's looking for rate of change of all sorts and pitch and so on. Boeing aren't very clear with us about what it's doing, but it is doing things slightly differently. So if you move that yoke around, the airplane is very lively and it will respond. So actually you have to just do less and let the landing attitude modifier and so on do it for you. Right, last 500 feet to go. We'll do that and then we'll deal with air traffic. What plane would you want to fly ultimately, or is it the 78? For me, it would definitely be 777. Such a majestic machine. Oh, see, I would put the 78 as more majestic than the 777, but that's my preference. A380 is on my list still. That's definitely one I would like to try. I'd like to try them all, though. If you said over the next few years you could fly the 350, 380, 777, 78, that'd be great. That would be my dream. Does that mean McDonald's is your favourite fast food? No. But in Europe, it's saved me when I'm tired, when I'm in somewhere expensive. Then McDonald's has saved me a few times. Lauren V goes for a milkshake instead of a McFlurry. Well, if you're in Argentina, don't do that. I feel like this is a big topic to have started. Right, we're in the cruise, 33,000 feet, so 330. Let's put the transponder to below, and let's have a systems check. Quite hard to do on this airplane with where they put the ECAM. Don't feel like that's achieving much. Let's check through it like this. All good, all good. You don't have to do this on the 787. The pages are like that. They sort of flick through graphics. They're not even awake until you click on them, and then they don't really tell you much. The airplane would have told you if it had a problem. The fuel is a good one to check, though. 12.4 tons, looking good. Sounds reasonable to get us over to Athens at the moment. Fuel 8.8 tons on arrival into Athens. Plenty. Doing well. Pressurization system running well. Happy. Air conditioning. What temperature is it? Oh, we've lost the aft. Otherwise, pumping in very hot air. I'm surprised it needs 37, but 23 in the cabin. That's okay. On a day flight, on a short haul flight, probably a little bit hot. Might adjust that. James Atkinson says, I work for the ambulance service. If it's hot, I'll drink it. Try a milkshake with a cappuccino in it. You'll not sleep for a week as it's like jet fuel, but it's amazing. Ah, yes. Well, in Italy, topical, as it's where we started, of course, you can get a sundae with an espresso. Affogato, I think it's called. So they just pour an espresso on top of your ice cream. That's very popular. What's better, if you like coffee ice cream, what could be better than natural coffee on your ice cream? Now, what's going on here? They're all in auto. They're all turned on. Still can't get my crew oxygen on. Maybe that is a sign this is out of date. Nope, don't know. Strange. No complaints from the cabin. It won't affect the pressurization. It's just the temperature control. So there we go. It's quite a confusing panel, this one. Let's see, forward cabin. Let's turn it down. Aft cabin. Yeah, it's all connected. It's all on. Everything else is happy. How strange. There we go. That's cooling down now. Bleeds. Imagine having a bleed page. Yeah, all fine. Ridiculous. Don't need that. APU off. Flight controls all running nicely. I like the flight control page on the Airbus. I don't think the 781 tells us anything at all. I'm not too impressed with it. But there we go. And that's good. So, there we go. Fuel used. 1.68 tons. So we've used 3.4 tons. We currently have 12.2. So let's add them together. Gives us 15.6. That's what we set off with. So we know we haven't. Well, that's one possible fuel leak removed from our concerns. Now again, 7.8 actually does that on its own. The Boeing's really clever. The Boeing actually runs on a calculated figure. It doesn't use predictions from the fuel in tanks. It uses a calculated figure. It's quite a strange system, but yeah. Right, let's have a look. Reza is asking about step climbs. Oh, Tim K says we need a long-haul A310 stream to Argentina. That would be good. Yeah. Yeah, that would be good. We did fly to Chile, which was good fun. Reza says, speaking of which, I have a question about step climbs. What are the points of them? Why aren't pilots given a set cruise level and just stick with it? Would also appreciate a step tutorial in the 787. Yeah, great question. So step climbs are because as you take off the airplane, you saw me earlier in the climb, I checked. I went into here and I had to check. What is our maximum altitude? It's on the progress page in the Airbus. So max 385, optimum 360. So the airplane can go up to flight level 385 at the moment. That number will continuously increase as we burn off fuel, and it will raise and raise and raise. So the optimum level will also raise with it. There's no point going up to your very maximum because it's too restrictive on performance, and the airplane could end up burning more fuel as it has to run the engines at full power. So we want to go as high as we can go for our weights because the air's thinner, so there's less resistance on the airplane. So we go faster and faster as we go higher. It does reach a cutoff point, but even so, you'll start burning less fuel. The air's less dense. So that is... We're losing a lot of airspeed there. So that is why we want to be up in the thinnest air possible. The lower we are, the more fuel we burn. And the lighter we are, the higher we can go. So the step climbs allow us to burn off fuel and keep climbing. Now, you do step on Airbus aircrafts, but it's more common on long haul because... on a long-haul airplane, a lot more of the weight is made up of fuel. So 787 takes off, gross weight takeoff of some of the variants is, maybe it's around the 250-ton mark or 230-ton mark, depending on different variants. But let's say it's 230 tons, but the 787 can carry 100 tons of fuel. So half the weight at takeoff could potentially be fuel. Now, that's unusual because you wouldn't have any passengers, but even so, these things are possible. So yeah, that's why if you think all that fuel burning off is how much lighter. So by the time you might set off over the ocean in a 787 at 350, and then by the time you arrive at the other end, you might be at flight level 430. Hayden says, if you move the yoke when the autopilot is on, would the yoke have control authority immediately with no discernible lag? Asks Hayden. So if you're talking about the 787, what would happen is the yoke is actually locked in place. So it behaves like this one. If you lean on it, you're just leaning against it. It like the Airbus side stick is locked in position. The yoke on the 787 will just move where the airplane autopilot is moving the controls. So if you then try and move it yourself, you're actually overriding it, and it will just sort of snap out, and you'll disengage the autopilot, and it will be immediate response, which is yeah, been in discussion about that LATAM 787 dive or descent. There you go. Tim K says, some like the MD-80s with the flying control tabs require quite a bit of input at low speeds. Indeed, indeed. Reza prefers the 777. There you go. Nick K says, as a glider pilot, we're told to keep the stick still. Less drag. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Ah, beautiful scenery. Beautiful scenery. Here we go. Finally. I love the writing on the wings. That should be mandatory. Not just registration. I want the writing. What a machine. I always wondered why not having a wing box. So normally there's a bulge around the fuselage underneath where the... oh, we're supposed to talk to someone. 1242. That's my mistake. Getting distracted here. Oh, 1242. Yeah, there's no wing box on the A300 and A310, which seems like a really good idea because it seems like less drag, right? Less stuff. How do they manage to design an airplane where you don't need a wing box, and yet every other airplane pretty much needs it?
Squawk 5505 for Lauda 396.
Naples, buongiorno, Alitalia 348, flight level 330.
Italia 348 will leave in my airspace shortly, too late, 1228.
Apologies, 1228, Alitalia 348. Whoops.
No problem, Black Bulgaria 470, Unicorn 122.
Oh, that's our fault. Oh, I say ours. Mine. Can't stop blaming you, can I? And by you, I mean the viewers. 1228. There we go. I love that. Too late. Yeah, that's is very true. Oh yeah, just before that, Dougal had said, "Did I hear an ATC ping?" Oh well, if that controller ever sees this, I do apologise. Free Switch says, "I'd love to move on to the A350 in the future. Was it a big workload difference moving from 320 to 78?" Oh, go TCAS alerts. They are level. 400 below. Right, is what we're going to do. We're going to wind the speed back. I'm going to climb immediately. They're 400 below us, 500 below us. Oh, that's funny. It's not showing us the actual TCAS response there. Now, I was visual with this airplane, so I know what we're doing there. But in real life, you never, ever ignore it. I'm just surprised. It normally shows up properly on here. That one wasn't very clear. Right, 340. Now it can go back to its target speeds. Good. Bit of self-separation. Nothing wrong with that. So we are going a bit faster than our Airbus colleague. What speed are we doing? Yeah, decimal 8. And in fact, it's going to accelerate a bit more. We are a little bit quicker. No, I'm sorry, I've missed loads of chat here. Hayden says, I take full responsibility. Thank you, Hayden. Dougal heard the agency ping, indeed. Yeah, I did hear it and managed to completely forget about it. Trim switches on the yoke are because this airplane has normal trim. If I disconnect the autopilot, it would be like a normal airplane. Rough zero fuel weight of a 787 says Free Scratch. It depends on how much you've got and which 787 you're talking about. Yeah, it varies. It varies a lot. Remember, they carry a lot of passengers and a lot of cargo. So on long haul, your weights change much more than they do on short haul. You just got more passengers, more fuel, more cargo. Yeah, if you can fit loads of things on. Lauren V says Starbucks has pretty much monopolised the coffee milkshake in the US at the point that the slang for it is Frappuccino, a trademark registered to the Starbucks Corporation. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Epilite says, why do you put the transponder on below as there are still planes above you, right? Is it for TCAS or secondary radar or both? It's for neither, actually. It's just what it displays on the screen. The TCAS will still respond in exactly the same way, and air traffic will see the same information. New cruise out 340. 78 would not do it automatically. That one does. That's good news. Let's put it in the airport. We're going to Athena, one of our favourites. El Gav. There we go. 381 miles. I love that. That direct feature. So useful. Full Prawn says, weather seems more complicated for long haul, but I guess you are above most of it in the 787. You're above more of it. Yeah, it's true. Because the 78 is very good. It goes very high very quickly. Higher than even the 777 and quicker than the 777. So sorry everyone who likes the 777, but the 78 does win there. But thunderstorms are thunderstorms. You're not going to get over those, especially as you get near the equator. So you do have to dodge those, and it's the same. I know what you mean about it being more complicated, right? You're covering much larger distances, so you expect on long haul to have more weather to deal with. I've been amazed by how the SIG weather chart to fly from London to Rome can sometimes have as much weather information on it as a chart that would get you from London to Singapore. You can fly halfway around the planet and have almost the same amount of weather, like the amount of weather that you actually have to deal with. But sometimes you'll be crossing, the ocean and going over the equator at the same time, and you'll have some serious thunderstorms to think about. And you do need to take a lot of fuel, because long-haul aircraft, especially early on in the flight, burn a lot of fuel over the normal. They're very heavy. And on long haul, if you carry extra fuel, it burns fuel. So if you take 2 tons extra on the 787, you might burn up to a ton of that just in carrying it. It's really quite amazing. James Cooper, thanks so much for the £20 super chat. Really, really appreciate it. James said, hello, just got to work, so can't stay long, but I will catch up tomorrow. Hope you're well. I am very well, James. Thank you so much for coming along and supporting the channel. Really, really, really kind. Really appreciate it. And great to see you here. That is a very, very generous super chat. And yeah, I hope your shift goes very well, James. Thank you so much for stopping by. Really, really appreciate it. Very, very kind. Yeah, very kind. Really, really appreciate it. James, works in medicine, and very. I can't imagine showing up for work and how it could go. So yeah, I hope it goes well, James. Really, really appreciate it. So kind. Reza says, "Don't tell me you have forgotten to contact ATC in real life. In real life, there's two of you. You're a little more focused than I can be while streaming, because I'm trying to stream at the same time. Yeah, so if you do forget in real life, you'll normally realise, because you won't have heard from anyone, and it'll be very quiet on the frequency, things like that. Or they'll call you, or you should know that you expect where you're going to cross FIR, so you should be prepared for that. I mean, it can happen, but there's a lot of ways that avoid it being a consistent issue. Sean says, over at Beyond ATC, they just put a new video where it discusses bugs, and says the next time you'll hear from him, it'll be when Beyond ATC is into early access. Oh, yeah, I haven't followed the Beyond ATC thing. What's it all about? Igloo Food, thanks for coming along. I hope you have a good evening. See you next time. Triton says, hi, do you know if, say, old 747-100s carried more extra fuel to be sure compared to modern 787s, thinking that the calculations in the old days were more manual than today? I don't know. I think they used to carry more contingency fuel than we do these days. Yes, they probably had more. Yeah, I would guess that they did, but I'll ask around. It's a good question. So that's talking about accuracy rather than required, because obviously an old 747 needs more fuel, but did they also have to carry... Oh, there you go, we got our after heating back. Yeah, they need more fuel, but did they have to carry additional fuel on top of that in case it wasn't accurate enough? Thank you so much to Reza Omar for the £2 super chat. Really appreciate it. Reza says, buy yourself a McFlurry for me. I will do, Reza. Thank you. I will treat myself to one. Maybe I'll get one tomorrow. That'd be great. Thank you very much. They probably aren't selling very well in the UK at the moment because there's a complete lack of summer in the UK. It's just been grey. It's raining again today. But yeah, thank you. Really appreciate it, Reza. And thank you again to James Cooper for that very kind super chat. Thank you both. Jai says, there is no way you're flying the same route as me. I left a little after you, Aegean 891. I'm headed to Athens also. Excellent. Yeah, I think I heard the Aegean. Excellent. Norby says, they tended to have much more of a filler-up attitude back in the day. Fuel was far less expensive and no one cared about the environment. The KLM 747 at Tenerife was requested a full load of fuel before departure, only to go to Amsterdam, for example. There you go. Interesting. I'm sure there were lots of occasions, though, where the performance of older generation airplanes wasn't quite as good and they would need to be very careful on that. But, yeah, I'm sure the fuel carriage was higher in general. Free Scratch says, what would a one-engine cruise weight be towards the start of a flight be then in the case of a drift down? If you're near really high terrain, is it ever a worry? Yes, Free Scratch. That's a great question. It's a huge part of long-haul aviation. Is you're flying over significant terrain. I suppose you haven't turned left yet. We are in nav, yeah. Yeah, you will... There you go, there's a left turn. You will have the issue if you're over mountains of drift down. So the 787 in the start of the cruise, typically, even if it's very heavy, will be able to fly on one engine at about 20 to 25,000 feet right from the start. It sometimes goes below that, but that's typical. And that will only improve as the flight continues. So that is obviously an issue if you're flying somewhere where the mountains are 23,000 feet, or if you're near Nepal where they can go up to obviously 30. So yeah, it is an issue. And basically, if you're flying somewhere where that's an issue, you'll have specific performance instructions on what to do to escape. They're called escape routes or drift down routes, where you keep the airplane flying, you reduce the rate of descent as best you can, which is what the airplane will do anyway. That's the normal procedure for an engine failure in the cruise, and then you'll fly a route out. Look at this. This is really nice texturing. That's beautiful. That is the best representation of that Airbus glare shield material I've ever seen in a sim. That looks spot on. Looks a bit grimy, but I can imagine it would be on an old A300 like this. But yeah, that's really nice. Yeah, so you're absolutely right. That is exactly what would happen. Indeed, as Henri says, if you don't talk to air traffic and they want you there, they will call you on guards. I've been to Mauritius on holiday, Epaulette. She says, I'm Mauritian. Such a paradise with a challenging approach to. Yeah, we should do that. We should do that. We could fly between like Reunion and Mauritius, couldn't we? That'd be cool. Thanks, Epaulette. It's great to hear you're out. Yeah, you're from Mauritius. It's a fantastic place. I have been, and it's amazing. Absolutely amazing. I've had a storm approaching both times I've been. So I'm very bad at choosing the week to go. Gasol says, what's been the longest flight you've ever done? I've done over 15 hours in the air. That's my longest. Christoph, sadly I can't say who I work for. No. Gabriel says, flew a Budapest Tenerife today in the Phoenix. Finally managed the step climb. Excellent. Yeah, that's quite a long way, I'd imagine. How long did that take, Gabriel? Tenerife sorry, Budapest to Tenerife. Yeah. I suppose you're further south, ready, but you are going to be quite a way west to get to Tenerife. Right, let's look. Making progress. Yeah, out over the water. For some reason I thought we made more of a easterly turn, but nope, southeast the whole way. Yeah, nice route this. I'd love to do this in real life. What's that complaining about? What does that mean? Oh, I see. You can't recognise it. Yeah, fine. 5 hours 20, says Gilbert. Wow, that is a long flight. So yeah, you'd have step climbs on a 5 hour 20 flight. That's about as far as a 320 is going to be going. Did you have a favourite short-haul destination? I hear a lot of people enjoy the visual at Nice. Naples was one of my favourites. Corfu was another one, which have both featured heavily on the channel. And I might feature them again. Why not? Naples and Corfu, great fun to fly into. Nice is good, though. Nice is good. I have not been to a Flick and Flack Beach epaulets. Nope. Nope, I don't know what they are. Sorry. James said, all being well, I qualify. I'm off to NZ in Feb. Nice 18 hour from Heathrow to Dubai. Excellent, James. Excellent. New Zealand would be amazing. Simply Tom says, I got started line training this week and flew into Otterpenny. I am struggling to understand Eastern European and Spanish controllers in particular. You get used to using the radio. Yeah. You will use the radio a lot more and you'll get used to it. Yeah. Takes time, but you know, I spent my first few years of my career flying almost exclusively in the UK. So even for me, after 3 years of flying around commercially, and then I started flying further into Europe, and it used to seem like a big deal, and then suddenly it's not. And now I fly over the world, and you'll be amazed how you get used to it. Gal says, my longest was Frankfurt Atlanta in the A330. Yeah, we did a 12-hour stream. We flew the 350 down to the Maldives. That was quite something. Razor says, I booked a lad's holiday to Corfu in September. You saying the approach is fun has made me infinitely more excited. Yeah, Corfu is cool. Either end is quite something. One end is a bit of a circle, and the other end, I got the stream on the channel. It's a very popular stream, actually. It did well even after I published it, after it was over. But yeah, we flew in around, you fly in right next to the hills, offset from the runway, and then the last minute have to do this aligning turn with hotels all around you, over a little walkway where people are standing. It's really cool. I've never flown to TNCM. I'd love to, but never been. Adam says, I think it's soon approaching the time for another Corfu in the A320. Yeah, I think that could be the case. Mauritius and Corfu, eh? Could fly from one to the other. I don't think we could take off from Corfu with enough fuel to do that, though. Lauren says, wait until you get to the Australian controllers. Yeah, I haven't been to Australia. We've flown it in the sim, though. Simply Tom says, CPDLC is definitely fantastic for use in areas with lower levels of ICAO. CPDLC is actually, it's great for just busy airspace. It really quietens it down, and it's a great backup in case you do miss something on a really busy frequency. Yeah, very good. I have not used the CPDLC update on the Horizon sim, sadly. No, I must try it out. Everyone's talking about it. I need to try it. Luke says, I went to Madeira a couple of years ago on a holiday. The approach is awesome. Yeah, I've been once, and it was amazing, but I haven't been enough to decide whether I really like it or whether I just find it hard work. You grow into these things because obviously the more time you spend doing them. The appropriate response is yeah, no, yeah. Right. We're not that far away. I need to stop chatting and actually start thinking about the arrival. So first of all, charts and controllers. Do we have any controllers? Yep, we have an ATIS. Oh, that's one of the longest ATIS I've ever seen. Athena, they have Foxtrot, approach type, RS X-ray 21 right. Perfect. That's the information we needed. Wind 2105. That's good. Headwind 18 degrees. Oh, lovely, so much better. Although actually not far off the UK temperature today. 10 k's viz, clouds few 4,000. Sounds a lot sunnier than it is in the UK. Birds in the vicinity, that is information Foxtrot. So what we can do is, actually I can't set the QNH because I've synchronized all the instruments. Okay, let me change that. That was a daft thing to do. We don't need to have them all synchronized. That's me being lazy and now paying for it. We'll just have Captain FO, and then we'll set the QNH 1011. Nope, won't let me do that for some reason. Well, that could be a fun flight. We'll see. It looks like it's locked in synchronized, but there we go. So it will be QNH 1011, and it's going to be on 21 right. Ruin says, oh, you fly the 787? I do indeed these days. Yeah, I do indeed. Haven't decided if I need to change my name or not. Simply Tom says, do you get CPDLC over the Atlantic, or is it still reliant on HF? We use HF and then primarily CPDLC these days, but HF has to work anyway. It's sort of the ultimate backup. Lauren Reese says, I think Ord still has the longest ATIS, so that's Chicago O'Hare. Always at least one runway closed, multiple advertised intersection departures, multiple taxiways closed, LASSO ops, which is landing and hold short operations, and unending construction, etc., etc. So Chicago, I have flown to Chicago now. I want to do it on a stream as well. Chicago O'Hare is amazing. It's so busy. It's incredible. The NOTAMs are vast. It goes on and on and on. It's so many things to try and work out. Also, the cool thing in Chicago is it's amazingly busy on the ground, Chicago, and it also has this American system where you have to know your stand or your apron. You have to contact them. The air traffic controllers won't pass you around the frequencies. They expect you to know and to have already coordinated with the ramp you're going to go and park in. So there would just be a controller for just the apron you're on, or just the cul-de-sac. It's amazing, but it's really quite different to how the rest of the world does it. Yeah. Of course, that's 787 driver. Yeah, I don't think I'll be doing that. Ever departed Ord had tapes on one of their ground controllers talking for 17 minutes straight, mostly 2-2 left, follow the aircraft in front of you without requiring any rebacks. So I heard aircraft arriving that said they were number 10 in the queue to try and go and park. My taxi out was pretty straightforward, but I didn't have to go a long way to the runway. Or I didn't have to sit in the penalty box either, simply Tom. Ramp box was someone entirely different from the FAA airline or airport. There you go. Full prawn says Chicago. Taxi gives me back-sim nightmares. Yeah, I need to go. I need to stream that. I want to pick the busiest moment as well. I want to see how it goes. We'll do a very short flight, a 20-minute flight. We'll just fly to that other Chicago airport so that we make sure we actually have time to do it all, because we'll spend about an hour on the ground. Yeah, I've been meaning to do a collaboration with Flight Sim or V1. It would be great. I haven't got round to it, like so many things. It's such a shame. It would be nice. Shared cockpit could be a little bit tricky and fiddly because we'll work on different procedures. So we would need to sort of invent our own together, as it were. But it's not impossible. It does happen. Not when you're flying airliners around, but you know, if you're doing sim checks and stuff with different airlines and so on. Laurie says, right, international gates, and you're going to 28 right, full length in a 787 to get back to the UK. The mess is over by United gates trying to get to 22 left. Exactly. That's pretty much sums it up, Lauren V. Yeah, that is exactly what happens. Lauren V's our resident controller and Chicagoan expert. It's relatively straightforward to get from the international gates out to the runway in Chicago, but even so, the amount of airplanes driving around and the routes in and the frequency changes in such a short taxi are, on the way in, is definitely worse. Yeah, departing is a little bit simpler. Yeah. Indeed, you don't have to listen to HF for the whole crossing because Cellcore already did that. But CPLC is even easier because you don't have to bother even using the HF. And HF isn't 100%. You know, it's quite staticky and hard to use at times, and sometimes it just doesn't respond like you were hoping it would. Hayden thinks that the 320 SimPilot is brand recognition. Yeah, so I think. Although 330 driver did manage, it seems. People do refer to 737 driver as 330 driver now. So it's possible. People do manage. I'm not suggesting I would be 78 driver. I'm not suggesting that for a second. Right. What star are we using? We are going in via the Nemes. So that is this one. Nemes above 7,000. Let's check it out in here. Nemes 340. That's already in. DDM. Digimon. And then Kia. No, I've read this wrong, haven't I? This is the one. Whiskey. Right. Let's sort this mess out. Airports. Athena. Star. Now, I'm hoping... I think we'll do the Nemes. One Romeo? What did I put in? One Alpha. Two Bravo. Oh, this is no better in real life. The only thing you can do is you can filter by runway, which does help. Luke says, changing your channel name would mean I need to buy more merch. Very good. Yeah. Yeah, it would indeed. Santiago Perez says, have you ever relayed messages from small planes below you in the Atlantic crossings? No, I've not had to do it yet. I have heard some doing it, but I haven't had to yet. There's usually quite a lot of aeroplanes over the Atlantic, so it's there's always someone else that picks it up before you, really. Come on, where is it? Kilo, Quebec, Romeo. I'm just thinking for Alpha. It could be the 2 Alpha by now. Otherwise, this means I've not synchronized. I haven't got the right database. There it is. Hidden right down there. So that goes DDM, Agena. I mean, there's a lot of different arrivals. I'm gonna plan the Nemes 1 Alpha because it's a 2-1 left-right arrival, so it makes sense. Nemes, Didymon, Agena, which is what we've got, and then RLS X-ray 2-1. I've done the left, so let's change that over. So RLS X-ray 2-1 right. Star Nemes 1 Alpha, transition Agena. Insert. Right, now let's have a look through. RLS X-ray 2-1 right, get the chart up. Good. And finally, we're going to parking chart of some variety, so we're not completely lost when they ask us where to go. There we go. Right, RLS X-ray. So that runs in from Nemes, DDM, Agena to ATV, then AV565, AV563, AV562. Oh, we're going to get all the way around. Yes, it's a long arrival. 3, 2, 1, and 0, 522, 3,000 feet. And let's just put this to plan to make sure we get this right. Unusual for Athens to be this way around. There it is. 22, 521. These have got step outs, so 7,000 feet max 3,000, 3,000, 3,000, 3,000 all the way around. And then we join the ILS. We put in the minima today of... Approaching online, thanks Dougal. Minimum today of 558. So let's put that on here. Which is actually, it's 286. That's interesting. So the landing elevation, I think, is a little higher than I thought. Touchdown 54. Runway 282. Ah, that's fine. What's the airfield elevation listed as? It isn't quite a hill.
Airbus 999, you're sending
300. Yeah, no, it's a bit higher than I thought. There we go. Good. So that arrival is good. Next we'll tune the ILS. Make sure we have it set up. So don't want to forget this. Could do this procedurally, but we won't. 1105 because we'll probably get given headings and so on. At least we've remembered to tune it here. That's one step. 1105, course 212. Yeah, there's a few extra things to remember on this older generation of Airbus. This being one of them. 212, 212. There we go. Back to map. Arriving at our first Greek airports. Making progress now. There's our colleague. Well and truly overtaken at this point. Good, so we've done the minima. Landing performance. Well, I'm going to go low auto brake, and I think we'll do a 1520. Where do we choose that? What's the standard on this airplane? Just trying to remember. Approach page. 3040 seems to be standard. Oh, there's the minima. Let's put it in there. I think this is a Cat C, so we'll do 558. There's a final approach we can type in if we need to. Landing weight 11740. It's great that it calculates it itself. Isn't that clever? 9.2 tons. So we're getting through that fuel. Yeah, standard flap setting. Matteo would have known this. Is it a motion sim problem? If you land smoothly, the spoilers won't show as deployed in the flight control page, or is that a real thing in the A322? Says Free Scratch. I don't know. I've never seen them. No, they should show up as deployed, even with a smooth landing. James is going to catch up. Peter DR, Peter, good to see you. Peter says, good evening, Captain. Hello. Oh, sorry, I've been so late. Just came home. No problem at all. Thanks for joining us. James says, how soon should I start my descent? Always gets wrong. Yeah, well, I think you're slightly behind us, so let's see how far. So we are 128 to Athens, but we don't need to descend yet because we've got to fly that whole arrival. So I would say, yeah, I'm gonna rely on the airplane here a little bit. I think that's not unreasonable. 80 miles out from here, begin our descent. We will descend a bit faster than you though, but yeah, we'll try it out. So we're going to descending around Nemes. It's not going to be bad. Cool, I don't think. You can watch me take that back later. So we've got our auto brake. We're going with low auto brake. I think the lower flap setting is going to be the standard. So we'll go with flap 1520, like a flap 3. Be up at 139. The minimum value, you just need to know your airplane. So the 787 is a category D airplane on the approach speeds. I think this is pretty slow approach speeds, 139, even with lower flap setting. So I'm guessing this is a Category C airplane, but I don't know for sure. You need to know what category your airplane is. It doesn't change based on the weight on the day. It's what the airplane's certified to. Beautiful. This is why we do this job, eh? All set up for the arrival. Sat here now. On long haul, this is where you have your breakfast as quickly as possible before you have to start your descent. We'll keep an eye on that fuel. How's the fuel doing? 8.1 arrival. So it doesn't think we'll burn too much. It thinks we'll burn 900 kilos from here. I'll be impressed, but I suppose it's possible if we do idle for the whole way around the arrival. Good stuff. So quiet on the flight deck. So quiet. Tim Case's gosh, that livery looks so good. The black radar and reg numbers on the wings. Love it. Yeah, agreed. Totally agree. I love this livery too. Now, we haven't heard from air traffic. Let's get the new ATIS. They are still online. Information Golf. X-ray 21 right. QNH 1211. Still can't set mine. No, we'll have to do it later. Dear. Getting a little bit of turbulence. So tempting to just take a shortcut right now, just over to Aegina. We'll be able to see it soon. Yeah, I think that will be Aegina. This will be Athens over here. I think. We shall see. Surprisingly hard to judge distances in the air and where you are and where the airfield is. You'd be amazed how hard it is to say your visual with the runway. American air controllers love it. They're always after you to say that. They want you to call visual so they can remove some of the workload onto you. Crash. Ed, great to see you. Ed says, just dropping in to say hi. Can't stick around, unfortunately, but have a great flight. We'll catch you later. Thanks, Ed. See you next time. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. Hope you're doing very well. Right, we're not going to miss this radio call. Even if Ed is trying to make us get distracted. No, it's all Ed, of course. 132975. Yeah, we missed a call earlier. I missed a call earlier. I can't keep saying we. 132975. They contacted us, and then I just never got in touch with them. Oh, there's some directs being handed out. That's what we like to hear.
90.
Direct Kilo Romeo Oscar.
Maurizio, good to see you. I'm very well. I hope you're well as well. Thanks for coming along. Right, we've got information Golf 1011.
Approach, good evening once again. Visa 99 is with you at flight level 190.
Containing Speedbird 999.
Beautiful day here.
Proceed direct to Nemes. November Echo, Mike Echo Sierra.
Direct Nemes, Golf, Speedbird 99.
Athena Control, good afternoon. Alitalia 348, flight level 340. A300-600 with information Golf QNH1011.
Continue Italia 348, clear to Athens via Nemes 1 Whiskey arrival, ILS X-ray runway 21 right.
Nemes 1 Whiskey, ILS X-ray 21 right, Alitalia 348, thank you. Okay.
And call me ready for descent.
Wilco, Alitalia 348. Of course, I got that wrong, so let's choose all again. So ILS X-ray 21 right. Nemes 1 Whiskey. Nope, not the Nevra. Not the Nevra. Nemes 1 Whiskey. And let's just check the chart for that. This is where we find out this is a huge shortcut and all my descent planning was off. Nemes 1 Whiskey was what the sim automatically planned for us, so that's really impressive. Choosing by me, as ever. Nemes 1 Whiskey. So yeah, this is back where we were then. So that means our transition, because it makes sense, because I was picturing us going straight into 03, but of course we're routing all the way around, so it would make sense that we have to go out via Kia. So it would be the Kia transition. Insert. There we go. That moves our descent further. It's even more track miles, so we want to stay up and as fast as we can. Going to get a beautiful view as we fly in over Athens now. So Kia and then ILS-21 right from Kia brings us in around 4,000 feet. So, and then it just rejoins the same arrival, which is what we have here. And if I just check in the flight plan, DDM Kia 566 4,000. Yeah, all good. Then it has a bit of a level off as it steps down. Great. The approach page is still set for flap 1520. So yeah, let's keep going. We're at decimal 82. We're fast. This is fast. It's a faster airplane than I thought. Faster than the A330, I think.
Alitalia 348, direct to Kiev, you are Kilo Echo Alpha.
Dougal says, with you. Ouch. Did I say with you, did I? That's not... I've never heard that in the... is that for us?
Alitalia 348, are you with me?
Apologies, go ahead for Alitalia 348.
Descend to flight level 190 and proceed direct to Kilo Echo Alpha.
Direct Kilo Echo Alpha, descend flight level 190, Alitalia 348. 190. What happens if I push it in? No, it's not going to do anything. If I put it, it's armed, the profile descent. But we've been told to go down now. I don't really want to go down just yet, so I'm just going to do a VS. Not like that, like that. Just do 1,000 feet a minute for now. Let's keep the speed up at 8.1. And then we'll go direct. Kilo Echo Alpha. Insert. Now, let's see our descent. What's the descent speed it's targeting? This has always been hidden in this airplane from me.
Athens approach 18891 with you at 330.
Continue again 891 for the contact. 330.
Ah, that was it. Reference.
Clear
Got
to
us to
Athens
the
by Nemes 1 Whiskey
data page. Anyway,
arrival.
there we go. Bit late now, but it's there.
X-ray to 1
Econ
right.
descent. Cosnex 100s. Yeah, but it's not choosing us. Alright. We can choose minimum time.
Nemes 1 Whiskey arrival, ILS, X-ray.
And we would arrive at 7.9. Interesting. They got rid of that in later Airbuses.
Could you repeat the runway? Sorry.
So we're below the profile.
2-1 right, formation Golf enough.
We're going to let that intercept.
ILS, X-ray.
So I wonder, can
21
now I
right, information
that's
call
open descent.
8891.
Take 11 feet a minute. Can I
Edge there 747, descend to 7,000 feet.
what happens if I just stay on profile descent now?
1011.
I'm expecting it to do about 1,000 feet per minute and then intercept the profile, hopefully.
4,000 feet, Egypt Air South 7,000, 7,000 feet.
I'm not sure what the speed target is, but it looks like it's 0, so that might not be good.
Alitalia 348, descend with 2,500 or more.
2,500 or more, Alitalia 348. Okay, he's not happy with what we're doing. Oh, there it is on the profile. So that's going to work out. So if I just... What speed is it targeting?
7, proceed
Wind
direct
nav.
to Kilo Echo
Let's just
Alpha.
do level
Yeah.
change. Profile.
Direct to Kilo.
There we go. That's better.
Speedbird 999.
So it's in retard, which is idle, and profile descent, which is what we would expect. And now we're descending over Athens. There it is. Beautiful. There's the airport. Athens, one of my absolute favourite cities in the world. Just beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, very cool. Now it shouldn't overspeed. There's a more drag message. Thank you. We agree. It shouldn't allow itself to overspeed. We shall see. Thanks, Louis, for the subscription. It's going to continue with the more drag message. And we're off profile. It's interesting, it doesn't show you the VDEV and any of these instruments. You'd have to look in here to find it. He wanted 2,500 feet per minute or more. We're not even doing 15, so out come the speed brakes. They're quite small in this aeroplane, but they do seem quite effective.
Heading 310 Egypt Air 747.
This will keep our descent rate high enough for the controller.
Speedbird 999.
To cool. What were we asked for? Well, we asked for 2,500 feet per minute. That's quite a high rate of descent, but it sounds like he's giving vectors in, so we might actually cut the corner here and end up high. So
could you repeat that last?
we'll obey the instruction because he might be solving a future problem for us without us knowing it before we get too upset about it. So we'll keep descending. Next is the descent checklist.
Flight level 190, in 891.
Sorry, the approach checklist.
After Nemes, turn left, heading 0.
Do that, passing 10,000s.
After Nemes, turn left, heading 090.
Classic Airbus, what is it doing at the moment? Indeed, yeah, I'm not sure. Targeting 0 was a bit of an odd one. I'm not sure. It looks like it's just a bug. Right, it's regaining the profile, so I need to watch out here because it might. I'll put the speed brakes away.
It's 747, descend to 6,000 feet. Descend 6,000 feet,
It might reduce that rate of descent too much. We'll see. Gotta keep an eye on it. 300 knots. Yeah, it should be about 2,500 feet per minute would be a very high rate of descent to request. Some controllers do it. I've had it in real life where a controller, you'll be in the cruise at 380 and the controller will want 2,500 feet per minute, and you can't actually sustain it at those altitudes for long. The airplane and the air are just too thin, the airplane's too heavy, and it just, you end up overspeeding. So you can't, you should do your best, but you just have to tell them, oh, sorry, we can mostly do that.
747, turn left, 300. Left 300, Egypt 747.
Drifting off again, under 2,000, bit of speed brakes needed. Oh, it's like a 787 this.
Speedbird 999, descend to flight level 170.
Descend now, flight level 170, Speedbird 999.
Now, we're going to need further descent just to maintain this full arrival, let alone if we get a shortcut. That's it. Alitalia 348, request descent.
Alitalia 348, descend to flight level 110.
Descent flight level 110, Alitalia 348. 110, profile descent.
Alitalia 348, turn left, direct to Kilo Romeo Oscar.
Direct Kilo Romeo Oscar, Alitalia 348.
747, descend to 3,000 feet. Descend 3,000 feet, Egypt 747.
Now that's a bit odd because that's not what our arrival was. So now we're going to do a bit of sequencing.
Speedbird 999 or descend to 13,000 feet.
Actually, I know what we'll do. Oh, I know what we'll do.
Speedbird 999.
So let's just go into level change, 110.
Alitalia 348, descend to 9,000 feet, QNH 1011.
So 9,000 feet, QNH 1011, Alitalia 348. 1011. Still won't let me on this one. 1011 over there. So that is 11,000, which would, sorry, 9,000 on 1011. That's all good. We're in level change now. We're just descending down. And what I'm going to do is reset the arrival because I've completely broken the flight plan string here. That is my fault. So we have no star. I want the ILS X-ray 21 right. Via Kilo Romeo Oscar. There we go. That's what we're actually doing. And then we don't need a star. But that's from LGAP, so that's no good. Where's our current waypoint? Right, let's sort this out. Easy to get a bit distracted now, so I just want to be a little bit careful here of what we do. Ah, there's a good one. Now, I don't think that should trip off the autopilot.
747, turn left, heading.
So let's just fly the airplane. We are descending, still at a safe altitude, and all we're going to do is go direct Kilo Romeo Oscar. We'll just put it into heading south for now, which it is. I'll put the autopilot back on. Kilo Romeo Oscar, insert. Okay, so now we have a full arrival in there. That's good stuff. Speed, vertical speed out. So let's go back into level change because we're a little bit high. Keep the speed up for now, 300 knots. So that is auto pressure's arm speed heading. And let's put it back into nav. And we're flying to Kilo Romeo Oscar.
891, descend to flight
Right, let's get the lights on. Let's get the belts on. Let's get everyone ready.
170 or 18891.
Let's go over and set up our recording software. Good.
Alitalia
Flight is
348,
recording.
descend to 7,000 feet.
Send 7,000 feet, Alitalia 348. 7,000 is
Speedbird
in.
999, descend to.
So we're heading off over here.
QNH
Now we're doing this arrival.
Descend to 9,000 feet, QNH 1011, speedbird.
That's just what you got to do. Just got to be flexible. Things change. Track miles to go. Not as obvious in here. If I go to progress, we're only 20 miles out, so yeah, we actually need all that. There's the airport behind us. Oh, beautiful machine, beautiful livery, beautiful scenery.
Descend to flight level 150.
But I think we're actually going to find ourselves a little bit low now. Yeah. Let's go back onto profile. Profile speed, profile des. Nav.
Alitalia 348, that's left heading 360.
That's in 360, Alitalia 348. There we go. Everything I say comes untrue.
Speedbird
999,
that's left heading 050.
Through 10. Going down to 7. QNH 1011. And let's just take control of the speed. It's in vertical speed. 600 feet per minute. Right, approach checklist signs are on.
Left heading 060.
Briefing confirmed. Decamp status checked. Altimeter set. We were on 1011 3 times. Except we're not. We're on stand on this one. It won't work. But there we go. That'll do. Minimums we've set, and ignition can stay in. Oh, it wants relay light. Okay, we can do that. There it is.
348, descend to 6,000 feet.
Descend 6,000 feet. Alitalia 348. 6,000, and we have the landing elevation set. It's 300 feet. So
NGN 891, descend.
Just drop it down a tiny bit. There we go.
9,000 feet, AGN 891.
Right, we have the ILS tuned. Let's get rid of that status.
Alitalia 348, left heading 300.
Let's say 300, Alitalia 348. 300. Right, 9,000 feet. How far out are we from the runway? I can't see the ILS. I need to display it. There we go. So, we are currently 9,000. So we need 27 DME. Now, I always forget where they hide the DME. The DME is one of those few things that does change a lot depending on what you're flying. But we can always look in here. LGAV is currently 23 miles away. We're at 9,000. We're high. I can tell you that for free. So let's go to level change. Speed brakes. We need to come back to 250 now. So we'll go full speed brake. 250. There's the glide slope. Very recoverable because we're actually at 90 degrees. Descend 3,000 feet out of Alitalia 348. 3,000.
Speedbird 9er.
So we've got two problems, right? We're high and we have speed. So we do have to sort out the energy. That's why I've got the speed brakes out. But I think we're not far off actually, because we've got track miles laterally as well as straight towards the airport.
It's 747.
Control it solo back. Says Dougal. Indeed, yeah, Cole's doing a great job. MSGN says so many things to get tripped up on. Yeah, this is the job, right? This is what happens. Oh, it's not another air traffic. Oh, please stop. I'm sure I turned off the air traffic. I can't believe this.
David 999, sorry, could you repeat that?
Right, 240 knots.
Left heading 360.
Where is the DME? That's really bugging me. And has the flight plan sequenced. AV 570 should be 523. So if I do a direct. There we go, it did sequence as soon as I said that. Perfect.
Alitalia 348, reduce minimum clean speed.
Minimum clean speed, Alitalia 348. Okay, we can slow down a surprising amount. We're pretty light now for an A300, so it looks like we can do 210 comfortably. Speed's now his concern, so let's reduce that vertical speed. We'll do 500 feet per minute, really wind it back.
Left heading 360.
DME is on the RMI, except for the ILS DME is on the PFD. Yeah. There it is. 18.5. That small green writing down there. Thank you. Yeah, I could see these ones were obviously tuning the wrong way, counting up. So they must be for the VOR, but there we go. Great spot. Thank you. 5,500. There's the airport. We're going to need to turn soonish. Wow, we can do 200 knots clean. Amazing. That is a low clean speed.
348, turn left heading 340. 240 correction. Clear ILS approach, runway 21 right. Report established.
Left heading 240, cleared ILS 21 right. Wilco, Alitalia 348. So we'll clear for the full ILS. Always nice. 21 right is the correct one. That's what we have.
320.
Turn left heading 320, speed by 999.
I'm sure I've made radio calls like that. And I'm going to arm land, I think. Yeah, glide slope and lock are armed. We're in VS, we're slightly below the glide slope, 200 knots. If we need to go around, we'll go around altitude. There's a localizer very soon. Climb on course 212, and then you go to AV 528, max 210 knots. Climb 4,000 feet. So we can do all that clean, 4,000 feet for the go-arounds.
Athens, approach Diamond Sierra, X-ray Echo Whiskey Zulu.
There's localizer.
Diamond Sierra, X-ray Echo.
I think if I just click this, it synchronizes, doesn't it? Yeah, so we'll wait for that.
891.
Let's get some flaps out before we start down. So we'll go first stage. Flaps 1. Which is 15 and 0.
Deaccelerating from 260 to 220.
And that allows us to come back to 185. Amazing.
Reducing to 210.
210,
so 200 knots down the glide slope is no problem at 13 miles, but I want to start slowing down by 10 miles. Can we go to the next stage of flap?
And Athens traffic
Yes,
around
215.
taxi
Let's
into
get that
left
ready
to
so then
right,
we'll be able to slow down quickly when
together.
we're asked. So we go to 1515, just getting the energy under control here. So we've got some drag flap out. Airplanes are a little bit uncomfortable going down glide slopes without any drag. Alitalia 348, established ILS 21 right.
Alitalia 348, wind 220 degrees, 7 knots, clear to land. Runway 21 right.
Clear to land 21 right, Alitalia 348. Maybe reduce speed.
No problem at all. It's up to you.
Thank you. Perfect. Very laid back controller. Fantastic.
Etienne
Right, let's come back to
891,
180.
turn left heading 310.
Do the lights on.
Left
Excellent.
heading 310, 18891.
So now we have a problem with 200 knots. 10D, but the drag flap isn't as draggy as I'd hoped. Just sitting at 200 knots. Gonna need those speed brakes.
747 left.
There we
Left
go.
again, welcome to Athens. Stand for you is Alpha 01.
You know, it's so great when you have a controller that sounds so calm on the radio. You can't help but have everyone feels a bit calmer. Right, we'll put 4,000 feet in the window for the go around if we need it. I don't like this altitude tape. I much prefer the modern proper tape. James waiting for the landing too. Excellent. 180.
Approach 21 right. Speed 99.
This we can all back to 160 even. I'm trying not to slow down too much so the traffic behind us doesn't have to deal with
I'm
it.
going to try one more time now. Just double to check our clearance is still valid.
Absolutely, sir. As you cleared.
Fantastic. Then we are ready for a push and start. This time at Alpha 54.
Clear for push and start.
Love this airplane. Absolutely love it. I don't know why. This is charming me more this time than the previous times we've flown it. I think the livery's doing it. 180 knots, right, well, time to put the gear down, isn't it? Gear down.
891, please, right heading by 10 degrees.
Sorry, 18891, could you just repeat that?
That'll slow us down.
Right by 10
Arm the ground
degrees.
spoilers.
Right heading
And
by
let's go
10
to our landing
degrees.
flap setting.
Right, like heading 10 degrees.
And we'll wind in the VAP. 139.
And it's here 891.
We are cleared to land on the runway. She's accelerating now. We're going to get some strange winds off the ground here. Slow down, airplane. This is the problem with when you land with less flap, it can be harder to stabilise. Your approach speed is faster, but you don't have the drag out, so you end up in this sort of position. So 1520. Okay, that's worked. And armed. Landing check. This landing gear is down. We have 3 green. Sorter brake is low. It's dropped it. Thanks for your checklist. And just get his norm stats flaps 15 and 20. And spoilers are armed. We are cleared lands. There we are. It's quite a high nose attitude. But yep, that's what they look like on approach. Look at this scenery. This is just what it looks like doing this. Absolutely fantastic. Now I think that's going to be a better landing view, isn't it? Replay is on, thank you.
Athens approach Sierra X-ray, Papa Yankee Bravo, 5,600 feet.
Get some crazy radio altimeter changes into this runway because you've got these hills all around. And we'll just vacate to the left. Right, autopilot off. And of course, we do need to trim. This doesn't have auto trim, but the throttles will idle for us. It's a bit unusual. An airplane that you have to trim, but also you don't take out the auto throttle is quite strange because you're sort of reacting to it. So you see there, it chopped the power and the airplane just develops a huge sync rate. So I raised the nose. And now it's going to push us through. This is why you have to be very careful. I didn't flick the switch for the right flap setting. Okay, well we know why that's happened. Let's sit up in the seat a little bit. This is a hopeless view. Now they should idle on their own. Dear, you can use the whole runway. Made it down. This was not a good view. I regret that view choice. Right, we're getting the reverses. I think there's a toggle for the flaps for the GPWS, which I'm just remembering now. Idle reverse.
18891, apologies for that right turn, plane was acting up.
Manual brakes.
No problem at all.
And we'll make it here.
Italia 348, welcome to Venizelos.
Athens approach, Toronto on 1, radio check.
Okay, left. Left again via hotel.
Thank you very much. Left again via hotel. Out of 348. Cool. Left here, left again. Yeah, a bit of a firmer landing, but we just wanted to get down in the touchdown zone after my horrible messing around with the camera angle in the last second. Now, we've definitely had more luck with the A300 in the past.
207 knots, clear to land. Runway 2 right.
Clear land from rest right here, but 999.
Now, where's that switch? Why is it not happy with the flaps? What have I done about the flaps? That's going to bug me. I'm going to leave everything as it is for the replay. This is a legitimate 1520. That's what we put in, wasn't it? It deletes everything in the Airbus. Yeah, it won't have that now. I'll have to go back and see.
Via Golf, Delta 11.
There it is. That's the switch we should have done. Oh well, we didn't. Looks warmer than UK. It certainly does. It's only a few degrees warmer, but the sun will just make it feel much nicer. Right, we need to go via hotel. So we did left. We did the left again. Temperature's high. We did low auto brake. And then we're going to take hotel over to the terminal.
Spitfire Turboliner, welcome to Athens. Right left. Left again.
Hey, there's the Speedbird. We won that race at least.
Bravo 7 for you.
So we did end up using a lot more runway.
20, thank you, turn left on the hotel, and then Bravo 7.
Yeah, we're going right here. This is hotel.
891 with 220 degrees.
We can put the
clear to
speed brakes down.
21 right.
If you are leaving now, do please hit the like button on the way up. Makes a huge difference to the channel. Let's get those. Let those brakes warm up a bit. How hot are they? 330. That's pretty warm. That's terrible though. Brake fans I'll put on if they get too hot.
Toronto 1, just to confirm, we are clear for runway 313 right. Sorry, 21 left.
Yeah, I definitely.
21 left.
It's a curious thing about landing airliners is that it's much easier to land an airliner from a lower seat position than a higher one. Being a bit too high is more problematic than being a bit too low, which is frustrating because being a bit too low can mean that on a foggy day you don't get the correct view of the runway lights. But when you're high, you get a really strange sense of perspective on the runway, which is exactly what I gave myself there by moving the camera at the last second. There's no need to do that.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, it's really interesting when you fly an airplane, because you do leave the auto throttle in because it will idle it for you, but the way it spools up and down depending on your pitch, you sort of have to preempt what it's going to do next, which can be quite confusing compared to the A320, which doesn't have that issue because as it adds power, it doesn't change the trim.
Initially 7,000 feet.
Anyway, here we are, we made it.
And squawk.
So yeah, good to see you. Thanks for coming along. I'm glad you've enjoyed the channel. And thank you so much for saying so. Really appreciate it. Thanks for joining us today. I'm not sure where we're supposed to park.
Please repeat departure for Toronto 1.
Toronto 211.
You're very welcome to Returning Sim Pilot Superfan. And Dougal says been very grey and foggy in Wilkes. Yeah, it's been grey and miserable here as well. So what do we want the next stream to be on, everyone? Please tell me, because
some other preference?
I end up... Oh, was that for us?
Not really. Just give us 30 seconds to reshape the computer.
Thank you.
I'm just going to go in and park on the main terminal before we're told otherwise. This has been an amazing controller. Dealt with us very nicely. You're very welcome, Stefan. Do please leave a like on the way out if you've enjoyed. It makes a big difference. I don't know how Twitch does things. I suppose you just have to follow for our channel to get recognised. But as I've left it dormant for so long, that may take a while. I think we'll park, not on the one with the road. Let's park next to Egypt Air. I think we heard Egypt Air on the radio, didn't we? Lauren says, if I'm busy controlling radar, I don't care where people park. Yeah, excellent. That's what I was hoping. When's this modified? When are the Microsoft Flight Simulator going to have these modified stands instead of this horrible default stuff without lines and so on? When is it when the community are allowed to work on them like on X-Plane?
Unblock gate Alpha 01, thanks for our service. Have a good day, bye-bye, Egypt Air 747.
Bye-bye, Egypt Air 747, have a good day.
And there we go. Arrived. Welcome to Athens. Thank you so much everyone for watching. Let's go and have a look at the replay. You can see my my terrible landing. Good. So thank you to that controller for looking after us so nicely.
The deck
Disconnecting. And oh, such a pretty airplane though. Right, let's have a look. What do we do? So yeah, half demonstrating, half falling victim to the pitch power couple here and the retrimming. Because you nose down, the speed increases, so the airplane just pulls the power off, and then it continues to nose down. So it's yeah, it's all a bit awkward. Mostly smaller airfields so far. So okay. Richard P says, I really enjoyed the stream and learning about the McFlyers as a bonus. Thank you for the stream. You're very welcome, Richard P. So we crossed the threshold. Too high. You can see it's gone to the whites there. Now it wasn't amazingly high, but this process here, we took too long to get down. Look at this. I had to actually lower the nose instead of flaring. Still well in the touchdown zone. We had a bit more room than I thought. I'm surprised. It was very floaty. It is possible. Airplanes do float. And it's not like this was the most stable approach ever done on final. But even so, a little bit higher the threshold isn't unusual. But there, look at this. This phase too long. Should be down now. And then it just leveled off. There we go. Anyway, we made it down. So, let me pause. Put us back on approach. Last time I did this on the last stream, I don't know if any of you noticed, we almost didn't make it to the touchdown. I put it so far out. Let's try that. And I'll say thank you all so much for coming along. Thank you for those who've joined us again on Twitch. I intend to use Twitch from now on alongside YouTube. Thank you to those who have watched along and chatted along and just watched at home. Really appreciate it. Thanks for all the kind comments and for the chat. Really appreciate the interaction. Thank you for those likes. Any likes on the way out, I really appreciate it, of course. And thank you again to all of those very kind donations. Really appreciate those. Thank you to the moderators for looking after us. You do a fantastic job, and there is a lot going on over two platforms. So really appreciate that as well, of course. And yeah, new video is up on the channel, the Beechcraft Duke. Do check that out, the black square. It's a really detailed. You've never seen anything like it in terms of detail. So that's really fantastic. It's a full hour. I do a full flight in it in the black square Duke, which is a very cool airplane. I used to fly the real air Duke back in FSX days. Really liked that as well. So it's a very cool airplane. That's it then. We'll see you again in another video or live stream when they come along. So hopefully not too long. Please do keep safe and well. We'll see you again soon. Thanks you for watching, and I'll just put the camera in the right place. And bye-bye.